Join the thousands of movie fans gathering.
The offense continues to play as well as it's been. It's not going to burst. Their problem is going to be on defense. But when you look at the Washington Redskins and say, why is that offense playing so well? A couple of reasons. The offensive line and then Gus Ferrata's playing well. But none of that works unless Terry Allen continues to do what he's been doing. I mean, he has been playing just at the top of his game. You can see him. He leads the NFL with touchdowns. He's right up there in yards. He is the key for that offense. If they get him going, that offense will work.
Now, the Buffalo Bills are 5-3, tied for first in their division, but you would think that their backs are to the wall the way they're acting because they have a tug-of-war with offensive philosophy. Veteran quarterback Jim Kelly wants to run the no-huddle, and it seems that Mark Levy, the head coach, wants a less predictable offense.
Yeah, I mean, he says less predictable, but it was less predictable when they were going to the Super Bowl all those years, and I think that's what Jim Kelly has in the back of his mind. And I think he's comfortable with it, not only Kelly, but the offense. And I think they're saying, look, we can get this thing done. Let's get it turned around. Let's go back to the way we've been. I'll do the job. You protect me. There's a whole bunch of things going on, but the bottom line is this. I think you let Jim Kelly do what he does best. If you take him out of his game, and then he doesn't play as well. So you let him run with this. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, then you give him the hook.
So, Matt, coming into this matchup, how do you look at and size up this game today?
I think this one comes down to the weakness of each team. Which one is going to step up? I think if you look at the Buffalo Bills, it's their offense. They've been out of sync. If they step up versus the weakness of the Washington Redskins, their defense, they'll win. And so whichever weakness plays strong today, that will make the difference.
All right, it should be a good one. The Redskins against the Bills. And we'll have the opening kickoff coming right up.
Fox is now the generation and control.
He's struggling with. So they're moving right down the field. Let's see what happens here.
Inside of 3.5 to go. The Panthers down by 10. They need a touchdown. Winslow Oliver on first down, and the draw play doesn't get much. Picked up about 2.
Good. Pump yet.
Would duplicate our one-of-a-kind taste.
At the 40.
Lions 28-18 in the fourth, and the New York Giants are shutting out the Arizona Cardinals. The Chicago Bears edged out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Steelers rolled over the St. Louis Rams. Cincinnati and Baltimore in a dogfight, all tied in the fourth quarter, and San Diego winning on the road inside in Indianapolis. So now we're up to date. The Bills have won the toss. Scott Blanton will be kicking off. Rookie Eric Moulds is back deep for the Buffalo Bills. Moulds will receive the kickoff at the 3. And a good return by Eric Moulds as he crosses the 25-yard line. Jim Kelly, 36 years old, who says his arm feels great, but his confidence has been a little shaky as of late, with his team losing 2 of the last 3. And the number is not impressive, with 4 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. The offensive line, Reuben Brown and Glenn Parker, shaken up last week, did not finish. Back in the starting lineup today. Thurman Thomas has been having an outstanding year. Reed Tasker are the 2 wide receivers as the Bills start from the 27. Quinn Early is in motion. Thurman Thomas with an opening off the left side brings it out beyond the 30-yard line, where Stanley Richard makes the stop and a gain of 6.
You know, we talked about their differences of philosophy and what they're going to do. And they said, look, we're going to let Jim Kelly go with what he does best. And that's what they're doing right now. They're going to go with that no huddle. This is when Kelly's at his best. You just let him run with it.
2nd and 5, and it'll be a running play to Thurman Thomas. And Thomas appears to have a first down. Darrell Morrison making the stop defensively for the Washington Redskins. Rich Owens, Sean Gilbert, William Gaines, and Dexter Nottage, who is starting in place of the injured Tony Woods. They're banged up front. Patton, Stevens, and Harvey, the linebackers, and the secondary led by the incomparable Darrell Green. first and 10. Thurman Thomas, who's having a terrific first series, gets 8 yards.
You know what happens with this Buffalo offense? They go no huddle, and they change the pace of the game. And a lot of times, the start of the game is the most crucial for the opposing defense because it gets you on their heels, and that's where Buffalo has this team right now.
And again, it's the Thurman Thomas show, knocked back at midfield, but enough for a Buffalo first down. Marcus Patton, the ex-Bill, making the tackle, and it's been all Thurman Thomas in the no-huddle.
Yeah, and it's been all Jim Kelly saying, I got a hot-handed Thomas, and our offensive line, I'm going to give them confidence. You want to give an offensive line confidence, keep pounding the football.
Thomas moves out, split to the right, and the pass in and out of the hands of the tight end, Lonnie Johnson, will bring up second down.
You know, so much has been made of Jim Kelly, and that he's not the same guy. And so many things saying, well, his releases, his arm's not good, all these different things. I don't see that. I see a strong arm. If there's any difference in Jim Kelly, it's his legs, and he doesn't set up quite as fast.
On second and 10, here is Derek Holmes. And Holmes gets about 3 yards on the play as Thurman Thomas got a breather after carrying the first 4 times for 23 yards. And it was William Gaines who has played very well at tackle. Remember, Mark Boutte also out for the Redskins. They're hurting up front coming into this game. 3rd and 7 in Redskin territory. Kelly looking to throw, and the pass is caught. Oh, nice fine catch by Quinn Early.
Quinn Early's working on Tom Carter on the outside. I got to tell you, Tom Carter does just about everything right. Play him to the outside. Look at this ball. Look where that thing was thrown, and the concentration of Quinn Early. It can't be defensed any better. It's thrown perfectly. Just a good football play.
And again, they go to Derek Holmes on first down. Gets about a yard. Ken Harvey in on the play. So a fine play made by Quinn Early, who's had a quiet first half of the season. Came over from the New Orleans Saints, but expects to break out more in the second half.
Well, I think a lot of that is part of Jim Kelly's problem. He's got 4 new starters on that offense, and it takes them just as long to learn that no huddle as it does for Kelly to get used to them.
2nd and 9, and here is Holmes backed up. Holmes in trouble. And coming up to make the play is Rod Stevens, the middle linebacker, and a loss of 7 for the Bills.
Yeah, well, Stevens made the tackle, but the play was made up front between Nottage and Romeo Bandison. And when they stopped Reuben Brown when he pulled and forced everything back inside. So many times in this league, what happens is you'll see a guy get up with a tackle, and it's the other people who really made the play. They just kind of get that JOP, that jump on the pile thing.
That brings up 3rd and long, and Kelly out of the shotgun for the first time. And he pitches to Derek Holmes. And Holmes hemmed in by Stanley Richard.
Derek Holmes taken down by Stanley Richard.
And so the Buffalo Bills are stopped short after what looked like an impressive first drive. And on 4th down, Chris Moore coming into punt. So the Redskins finally shut down the Bills after the Bills got into Washington territory. And the dangerous Brian Mitchell, who had a breakout game last week, 71-yard punt return. And a long kickoff return as well. Moore with the kick. And it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. And the Redskins will go on offense for the first time. When we come back to Orchard Park, no score.
Him out of bounds. There's 1 foot. You can't get the 2nd foot down that's on the line. Now, Phil, when you look at this here, you're seeing Reno throwing the ball. They would like to run the football, right?
Well, they talk about running the football, Paul, but I really believe if you want to, then start out throwing the football through the Miami offense and get New Orleans defense thinking about pass, and then you run the football.
Well, that second replay looked like Hill might have just gotten his toe down inbounds. 3rd down, the quick throw incomplete to Juris McPhail, and the New England defense has held.
Of those two, if they get them to...
Especially at the right seconds, and then almost in unison, like the national anthem was about to be sung, they stood to leave.
Bruce Coslett, he didn't want to see it. He was watching.
He could judge by it.
He was holding out a good John Carter, and
A hummingbird flicks.
Jimmy Hitchcock makes the block for Meggett. 48-yard punt, 4 on the return, and Larry Izzo, the rookie from Rice, the tackler. I can never understand what takes these guys so long. Here's the guy that threw the flag.
MasterCard. It's smart money. And by 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
Back here in Buffalo, Gus Frerotte, the quarterback who has kept his mistakes to a minimum with only 5 interceptions, will bring out the Redskins, who begin from the 20-yard line. In motion is James Jenkins, the second tight end, and Terry Allen trying to go wide out of bounds. And that sets a few people scrambling, and a penalty marker is thrown. The referee today is Larry Nemmer.
Personal foul. 55 defense for a late hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty.
The linebacker.
First down.
You're going to watch right at the end of this play. Terry Allen's going to clearly want to go out of bounds. And then there comes the hit from Mark Maddox from the inside out.
The offensive line for the Redskins, and that's been one of the big reasons for their success without question, and they welcome back Trey Johnson to the starting lineup. Johnson back at left guard after missing last week's game with the Colts. First down on the 39 following the personal foul. The slant pass to Brian Mitchell, and Mitchell takes it out close to midfield, and nearly a first down for the Redskins. So Gus Frerotte, who has been a terrific quarterback with Patton, Trey Johnson back in the lineup. Patton moves back to left tackle. Ulanake at center with Bob Dahl and Ed Simmons on the right side. Mark Logan was questionable with a strained calf muscle, but he is eligible to play and in the game right now. Henry Ellard and Leslie Shepard, the wide receivers. Jamie Asher, impressive at tight end this year. First down at the 49 of the Redskins. And going up top for Michael Westbrook. And a flag is down. He was covered by Burris and Ken Irvin, the nickelback, and a penalty down at the 25.
North Turner not having 100% Michael Westbrook yet, but knows that he's the one guy who has down the field speed.
Defensive pass interference. Number 22 cut the receiver off. Automatic first down.
You're going to watch. Now, Michael Westbrook can get deep. Burris plays it perfectly. Now, right at the middle, right there. See how he stuck his arm out and bumped him? Yeah. Now, to me, I don't like that call. I think you let him play. But North Turner knows that he's got speed in 82, so he uses them down the field.
And the Redskins have a first down on the Buffalo 23. And Bryce Pott all over Terry Allen as he got the handoff. But so far, 2 major penalties are called against the Buffalo defense to give the Redskins first down. That has been really an Achilles heel for the Bills this year, the penalties, which Marv Levy hopes his team can cut down.
Well, you talk to that Buffalo defense and you say, you know, what about this Washington offense? The first words out of their mouth, we've got to stop Terry Allen. Terry Allen is the key, and I would agree with you.
Second down and 9. They stopped him on that last play for sure. Play fake, and Frerotte has Mark Logan out of the backfield, and Logan knocked out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. Mark Logan, who's coming off his best game of the year and having a terrific season.
Well, I think that's just a question of Mark Logan getting familiar with the offense as well as the rest of this offense getting familiar with his skills. Now, I was with him prior to the game down in the locker room and asked him, you know, how that calf felt. He said, you know what, I really don't know. I haven't tried to push it at all. I don't know how it's going to feel. I'm going to go out and work on it. And, you know, I watched him prior to the game running, and he looked fine. And heck, if that's any indicator, that's a great sign for the Redskins.
First and goal at the 1, and Terry Allen. That was not a good snap. There was a little bit of a confusion as Frerotte got the snap from Ulanake. prior to the handoff to Terry Allen. That'll bring up 2nd and goal.
You know, I got to say, the Buffalo Bills defense plays best when they have a lead. When they are up, they're even better because then you got Bryce Pop and Bruce Smith flying off the corners. They can rush the passer. Wade Phillips knows all that. That's why I think a fast start to their offense is so important. Conversely, a slow start for their defense is not good.
And they have not been good in the red zone defense as Farrat tries to go to Logan. And when he has, is incomplete.
And he threw a bad one because he had Logan on the play action.
3rd and goal at the 1.
Now, Logan's going to go through, and you got to expect to be whacked when you're going to do that. They're going to play action, go a little short motion, then come through. Now, on goal line defense, you're going to have to get hit and take a hit and still get out. And he does that. Run had him, and he tried to. What he tried to do is aim that ball instead of just throwing.
Logan comes in the game as the 2nd leading receiver for the Redskins. 3rd down and goal from the 1-yard line. Here is Terry Allen, and he'll get over for the touchdown. Terry Allen, the first Redskin running back in history to score 3 touchdowns on successive weeks, has scored one here on the first Washington possession of the game to give the Skins a 6-0 lead.
And this is a combination of things. This is a combination of their offensive line right in here taking care of things, and then Galbraith right here getting that block. There's a crucial block. And then Logan is able to come outside, and once he's stalemated, the speed of Terry Allen to be able to hit this skier and get outside. He just runs right by Schultz and gets in for the score.
That is his 14th touchdown of the year. He leads the NFL, and Scott Blandon is on to kick the extra point. And the kick is good, and the Redskins have taken a 7-0 lead, going 80 yards, capped on this touchdown run by Terry Allen. That's his 7th.
Byers in motion, 1st and goal.
Across the goal line as Martin gives New England the lead. Sam Gash is just leading up, and Martin goes up over the top. Now that ball comes out soon. I'm going to tell you that there's another one was a fumble. The one before, Dick, the reason that ball was blown dead right where it was because it hit the pylon, and the pylon is out of bounds.
John Burke recovered for New England. That was so close, it might be interesting to see if Martin was over. Vinatieri, who has missed 3 extra points, is good on that one, and it's 7-0. Let's take a look at the touchdown again. Did Martin break the plane?
It looks like as Martin's getting ready to jump, the ball's coming out. Now here's Martin. He's going to try to make the jump. Here's the ball. The ball is out. The question is, was the ball across the goal line before that thing came out? Now here is Martin. Is the ball at the line? I'm going to tell you what, that is about as close as I'm going to get. That is a fumble, but New England still recovers the ball.
Feel the track point. Feast your...
It's Burke, just a spectator. It was fumbled before he hit the goal line, and then Burke sees the friendly roll for New England.
Zach Thomas made the hit before Curtis Martin crossed the goal line. But in the official's opinion, he did cross before it was a fumble. Yeah, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you will see the
Touchdown tear. The Redskins lead 7-0 on an impressive 7-play 80-yard drive helped by 43 penalty yards tacked on against the Bills. So Norv Turner's team is in front, and of course the one thing the Bills had told us, they needed a fast start coming out of the chute in this game. Scott Blandon will kick off. Eric Moles is the beat man for Buffalo. It is a short line drive kick. It's picked up by Moles inside the 5. And Moles refusing to go down. Brings it out and then finally knocked out of bounds. They rule at about the 17-yard line.
First and 10 for the Bills out there.
One of the points I think that gets overlooked with this no-huddle offense is this. You know, so many times in football, they talk about patience, and you have to have patience with the running game, patience with the offense, and that always comes from the sideline for the guy who's calling it. When you go to the no-huddle, the patience goes from the sideline, and it goes right into Jim Kelly. And I think that's a tough thing to do for a quarterback who's in a hurry up and trying to keep pace is to remain patient.
They'll start from the 17. Tyndale and Thomas in the backfield, and here's Thurman Thomas, who carried the first 4 plays of the game, but William Gaines showing good pursuit as well as Marcus Patton stops Thomas for a loss of 2 yards.
The other thing with this is having to substitute from the sideline all the time with this no-huddle pace. Puts a lot of pressure on your sideline and the coaches to get the personnel you want in a hurry.
Scott Turner is the extra defensive back for the Redskins. 2nd down and 12. Harvey trying to put pressure on, and that's a coverage sack by the Redskins. Kelly had nowhere to go, and Dexter Nottage, starting this game in place of Tony Woods, gets Kelly.
That's exactly what happens. First, you're going to see a little bit of pressure inside by Sean Gilbert, and then look right here. That's a great job of knocking this one off. And then you look down the rest, there's no place to throw the football. And because they stay with this coverage, Kelly has to come off of it, and then the sack.
So out of the shotgun on 3rd and 14 is Harvey putting pressure on. Kelly dumps it off to Thomas, but nothing doing. And Brian Walker, who is an undrafted rookie from Washington State, stops Thomas, and the Bills will have to kick from the shadow of their goal line.
And then that's another good job of that Redskin defense. Remember, we talked right at the start of which weakness was going to come up strong. And the Washington Redskins right now, in terms of coverage, are outstanding. They played that one just perfectly.
Redskins looking at good field position. Chris Moore punting it away, and the Redskins were going for the block. Brian Mitchell at midfield. And Mitchell's pushed back, and a fine special teams play by Robert Coons, and a loss of 10 on the return by Mitchell. Great play by Coons.
Jabbar with 6 touchdowns rushing for Miami, and first he had a very impressive debut in the win against New England on opening day. He leads all the rookie runners in the league in touchdowns made coming in today. First down for Marino. Into the flat to Abdul-Jabbar. He crosses the 50, and at the 48-yard line where Jimmy Hitchcock makes the tackle, no fumble, 6 yards on the play.
So Jimmy Hitchcock felt that he just stole the ball from Abdul-Jabbar.
Hitchcock starting for the injured Ricky Reynolds at the corner.
All right, here comes Hitchcock, 31. Now look at this. He steal the ball? No, Jabbar is down. Here it is here. Number 33 is Jabbar. Here comes the ball. The ball is out. I'm going to tell you what. We've seen 3 questionable fumbles so far in this first quarter.
Jabbar smothered Todd Collins, and others make the hit.
Well, this is the first time this
companies that make steel.
It's slick, and it's calls for fumbles and drop passes in days like today.
Well, in your giant heyday, Phil Sim, it just seemed when you got to November, your team became even tougher.
Well, we can run the football. It's strong enough or big enough just to come out and line up and run the football on them.
3rd and 3. Marino shotgun. 4 wide receivers. To the sideline. Lamar Thomas at the 20, and the former University of...
In the 3-4, Bryce Pop, who's second with 5 sacks. Chris Spielman, the former Lion, has played well. And in the secondary, Smith, Schultz, Stevens, and Jeff Burris for the Bills. 1st and 10 at the 40. The Redskins lead Buffalo 7-0. Barat swings it out to Allen. Allen slipped and then was tackled in a gain of maybe a yard.
I think when you watch what Norv Turner is doing right there, it addresses the strength of the Buffalo Bills defense. They've been playing very, very good run defense, and so in order to take advantage of what they do well and use it against them, he's throwing early, and he's trying to loosen up that running game by throwing and getting the ball back outside, which of course will cause the Buffalo Bills defense to spread.
2nd and 9, and the pass to Asher underneath. And a gain of about 4, so it'll be 3rd and 5. That was Chris Spielman, a former Detroit Lion. And there you're looking at Jamie Asher. who has played well at tight end. He's been one of the highlights offensively with Logan and Allen, as well as that offensive line. 3rd and 5 on the Redskin 45. Brian Mitchell, the 3rd down back, is checked in. And the handoff is to Mitchell, and Mitchell gets a first down into Buffalo territory to the 49-yard line.
So it's 2 passes and then a run. So you get their best run defenders out of there, and then you go ahead and when they're expecting a pass, you run them up the field with the draw.
Versus head at the 49.
Mitchell gained 22 yards rushing and 26 as a receiver last week as he finally smashed out of his problems as a return man. Terry Allen back in the lineup now. First down on the Bills 49. And the pitch is to Allen. And Allen doesn't get far. Chris Spielman and Mark Maddox both meet him head on. And a gain of only 1.
Well, you know, he said about 3rd down when they get him out of there, they get their best run defenders out of there, and that's Chris Spielman. And Chris Spielman is a studier. Chris Spielman is an excellent reader. He's one of those guys who sees things right when they happen, and he gets to the football. He's a student of the game, and he's really helped this Buffalo defense. He's also a function of big old 92 in front of him, Ted Washington. I think that's been a big difference for him to have a big body, whereas in Detroit he didn't have that.
It helps to have a guy like that up front. 2nd and 8, a double pump, and the pass caught. Well caught by Henry Ellard. And Ellard, you want to talk about an ageless Darrell Green on defense. What about what Ellard has done offensively with Burris all over him and a gain of 9 yards? It's another first down.
Yeah, and you can see now that's a 751st. 5th all-time. Charlie Joyner, who's coaching the Buffalo Bill receivers on the other side, he just went past it. I think the other thing right there is you see the maturity of Farrat to be able to stay with that pump and then get that ball in there.
Redskins driving for the 2nd time. They have a first down on the Buffalo 38-yard line. And Terry Allen will lose about a yard.
This is what Bruce Smith does very well. When I watch Bruce Smith year after year, the one thing that you really see, I mean, he might be the most blessed pass rusher I've ever watched. I mean, the best defender that I've ever seen is Lawrence Taylor. The best pass rusher that I've ever watched is Bruce Smith. Now, in the run game, he's not always been there. He's not been inconsistent, but he hasn't been a disciplined guy. Sometimes he'll jump under a block, and he'll make a big play like that. Then another time he might jump, and the guy will blow up inside on him.
2nd down and 11. Farrat with a short drop, drills it, incomplete. No receiver in the neighborhood. And that'll bring up 3rd and long with 2:27 remaining in the first quarter. The Redskins lead 7-0, and the extra defensive backs come in. There's Brian Mitchell and Michael Westbrook coming in the game for the Redskins offense.
Remember a few years ago when Bruce Smith said, "I'm the best defensive player in the National Football League," and everybody looked at Lawrence Taylor and said, "No, he is." And I think Bruce Smith's come a long way from that. I think he's matured, and that's made him a better football player.
Last 4 games, the Redskins have been sensational on 3rd down conversions. They need 11 yards here. Farrat's pass incomplete. Adam Boyle will put up big pressure. Leslie Shepard was the intended receiver, and Bryce Popp and company put the heat on Gus Farrat. That'll bring up 4th down, and the Redskins will kick.
4th and 11.
And really, Farrat is inconsistent. Those last 2 balls just took off on him because he had Shepard wide open in the middle of the field.
One of the better kickers in the NFL, Matt Turk, will be punting, and Jeff Burris goes back deep. Steve Tasker normally is back there, but Tasker, who just returned from a sprained foot injury last week, is going to be used as a receiver exclusively today and on special teams. Good high kick by Turk, and that will go into the end zone. And the Bills will take it. 7-0 Redskins.
They run it twice.
Does an excellent job. Stanley Pritchett, number 36, comes over, goes the outside.
Second drive, they start off, say, let's try the passing attack. Let's go to Steve McNair, see what he can do. And boy, limited success is an understatement as he throws it right to Terry Wooden.
Warren getting a massage on the sidelines. He has not had anywhere to run. Peterson kicks off. And taking it will be Mel Gray from the 10-yard line. He doesn't look like he's lost a beat at all across the 40-yard line. Jeff Fisher told us it would be a game-time decision to see if Mel Gray could play. So far, he's been impressive.
I would prefer some.
Where you treat me this way.
Presenting the full-time forward. It's everything Alexis is, and everything Alexis isn't.
Homer's involved in a plot to control the world.
We are totally mad.
On The Simpsons season premiere, part of a full hour tonight on Non-Stop Fox.
2 minutes and 13 seconds remain in the first quarter here at Orchard Park. Crowd of about 80,000. They did not sell out in time, so the blackout is in force here, but the fans in the walk-up came out enough to create just about an 80,000 capacity. They've been great fans here supporting the Bills, and why not with what they've achieved. First and 10 at the 20-yard line. Thurman Thomas for about a yard. And right now from McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Dick, here's how the upset took place. Eagles win it. Back to Dick and Matt.
All right, Jake.
Great football game that was.
It was. Thurman Thomas doesn't get much on a pass out in the flat. That was a game that you would expect between two division rivals, and as a result, the Eagles now are 7-2, and the Redskins need a win to maintain their one-game lead over Philadelphia in the NFC East. So at the no huddle, 3rd down and 11 coming up for the Bills. Kelly's pass to Quinn Early, and Early is stopped short of the first down by about a yard. Let's see where they spot the ball.
Well, that's going to be short.
Ryan Walker again with a good defensive play for Washington.
I think Washington in coverage right now is just at the top of their game. I mean, they had him in 2nd down, boom, ball came right up. I think Ron Lynn's got himself a pretty good game plan, and he's sticking with it.
This is a defensive team that has given up a lot of yards, but not many points.
And they have not looked good in giving up all those yards as well. They just have not played very good defense.
Chris Moore back to kick it away. Brian Mitchell will call for the fair catch at the 32-yard line of the Redskins with 38 seconds to go in the first quarter.
For the Washington Redskins at their...
Do you believe in reincarnation? Tonight on The X-Files, Agent Mulder uncovers a past life that will change his future forever. Don't miss an all-new, chilling episode of The X-Files tonight at 9, 8 Central on Fox.
Well, I hear a lot of people talking about that X-Files show. They think that's one of their favorites.
Well, I'll tell you what, when people tune in to Fox's superb coverage of the World Series, a lot of people who didn't know the X-Files was around now know, and they're responding to that apparently. 1st and 10 at the 31 for the Redskins. Play fake. Farrat got some pressure and tried to get it out to Mark Logan. Incomplete. But Bryce Pop, as he did in the last series, coming in strong on Farrat.
Well, like he's done from Green Bay and now here. You know, it's funny, talking to Ron Wolf, the general manager of the Green Bay Packers, he said, you know, the biggest mistake I made was letting Bryce Pop go. He said I should have paid him the money and been done with it. He's one of the best defenders in the National Football League, and I couldn't agree more.
No Packer fan would agree more, that's for sure.
And all around, too. I mean, he'll play pass and rush the passer and the run equally as well.
2nd and 10, Terry Allen.
Now, that's a perfect example.
Phil Hansen.
The Hansen's going to make that play, make the tackle, but the guy who made that play is Bryce Pop. And Bryce Pop came with an inside slant move. You're going to watch him. He's going to jump inside. He's going to force everything to bang outside. Watch him going to come inside. Then they're going to take Hansen and bring him back outside. And because he stayed with that and forced the ball to bounce outside, he goes right into Hansen. There's Hansen throw him, come around. Pop does all the work. Hansen reaps the benefit.
And as you say, it's not only the man that makes the tackle all the time, it's the guy who sets it up to allow the player to make the tackle. And that's what Bryce Pop did there. And that is the end of the first quarter here at Orchard Park, New York, with the Washington Redskins leading the Buffalo Bills by a score.
He stands, he tells his whole team.
seeing more and more of that. Part of it because these defensive ends, these linebackers, these speed rushers on the outside, becoming so athletic that
down too long like that, you make those kind of mistakes.
Let's pay attention during the timeouts. So first down 15 for Drew Bledsoe. Very impressive on the touchdown drive. He was 5 for 6. Being chased, but gets it away to Meggett, and Meggett able to struggle forward to the 34-yard line. Shane Burton made the tackle. It was Aaron Jones pressuring Bledsoe.
Man, I'm going to tell you, I'd like to know how this defense worked. They had Dwight Hoyer, number 50, covering on Ben Coates man-to-man.
But also number 97, Aaron Jones, the defensive lineman, they had nobody blocking him. And Drew Bledsoe, something he's done very well this year, moving around a lot more than he ever has in the past, getting rid of the football and making some positive plays.
He fires the former Dolphin in motion. And hit in the backfield is Meggett, as slicing through with Zach Thomas. And what a rookie find he has been. 5th round, the 154th player selected. Zach Thomas has played terrific football this first half of the year. And that's the end of the opening quarter here in Foxborough. The Dolphins, the Patriots, 7-all.
Jake! My defense!
Today, more than ever, business is...
Good rush defense by the Bills lately, stopping some of the top runners in the NFL.
Yeah, and today's no exception. You know, right now Terry Allen has 9 yards rushing. And I think that's why Norv Turner is throwing the ball on first down, trying to get it out of there early to try to keep that defense off balance.
Allen does have the touchdown, though, for the Redskins to give them their 7-point lead. 3rd down and 8 coming up for Washington. Barrett's pass. And turning around, a flag is down. Michael Westbrook was the intended receiver, could not hold on after being spun around, but a flag is down. Bills were hit with 2 defensive penalties on the Redskins' first drive.
Yeah, I like Jeff Burris. I think he's a pretty good football player.
Offensive pass interference, number 82.
This one is against Westbrook, the offensive receiver.
Michael Westbrook, number 82, big, strong, he can run. Now, remember, you get 5 yards to have a bump. And it looks to me like that's a makeup call for earlier. Because Michael Westbrook came off and physically got into him as Terry Robisky worked with him, tell him to use his arm, see a rip move. Westbrook is so strong, he'll take the hit and he'll just get off of it.
So Matt Turk will kick, and Jeff Burris back deep for the Bills. Burris is going to let it bounce, and it takes a Washington hop, and still going. And the Redskins will finally down it inside the 15-yard line. So that punt worked for Matt Turk. 52-yard kick. Buffalo ball when we come back.
Comparisons, and Bledsoe missing on only 1 pass. Working against his idol as a kid, Dan Marino. Bledsoe goes long. Sean Jefferson unable to come back in time as Zach Thomas puts the heat on Bledsoe.
Boy, did Bledsoe take a shot just as he was throwing the ball. Zach Thomas.
It's a blitz. Tim Jacobs, the secondary guy, comes from the outside, occupies the blocker. Zach Thomas sees an opening, and this man can run and make a decision and get to a player when he wants to.
Sean Jefferson can attest to that after.
Give a look.
Kick it with O.J. McDuffie back at the 22. He drives it. McDuffie at the 16. Has some room on the sidelines.
Biggest sports stars around.
You know, I like them with long hair.
And you never know when they'll show up.
Well, sure.
It's the official All-Star Cafe.
Ken Griffey Jr. 301 lifetime average.
Where the owners are always willing to help out.
Excuse me, it's 302.
So if you go, bring the right stats and the right card. Visa, because the All-Star doesn't take American Express.
301 lifetime average.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Plymouth. One clever idea after another. That's Plymouth. By IBM, solutions for a small planet. By McDonald's, official break of the NFL. And by 1-800-COLLECT, the way we call collect today.
Now, Mike Westbrook come to the sideline. Terry Bisky, the receivers coach, he's going to, and then Norv Turner over here, see him talking about how to get off that. I got to tell you something. They're going to watch the tape and they're going to say, you know what? There was no penalty.
First down at the 14 for Jim Kelly and the Bills. And his pass to Lonnie Johnson brings him up to the 20. The Redskins right now are lining up Ken Harvey as a defensive end in place of Rich Owens and going with a fifth defensive back in Scott Turner. So a little bit of a wrinkle defensively employed by the Skins here.
And I'd expect now for Jim Kelly to go attack that with 5 DBs and go run at it.
Second down and 3. Thurman Thomas finds an opening, and Thomas with a first down for the Bills up to the 26-yard line of Buffalo. Marcus Patton and Thomas slow getting up.
He landed on the ball. The ball has a way of knocking the wind and everything else out of you.
And Derek Holmes will quickly come back in the game. Hopefully that's all it is.
I hope so too. I mean, he looked like he's kind of hanging his shoulder there a little bit.
Thomas is having a brilliant season. First down, Derek Holmes powers his way and still on his feet. And finally ridden out of bounds by Darryl Morrison, but not before Holmes picks up 18 yards.
Dick, you know, we talked about guys who make the punch, and watch Ruben Brown right here, 79. You see the guy who makes the play, and you look at Derek Holmes, but right there's the key. And it was Ruben Brown's block who cleared the big opening, and then Holmes gets into the secondary, and he's able to pick up a big chunky yardage.
Holmes goes out. Tim Tyndale is in as the running back. One of the rare carries for Tyndale. And the offensive line on the left side opened up a big hole. And it was Turner and Stanley Richard, but 15 yards on 2 running plays run off by the Buffalo offense.
Well, and now they're going to have to go back and get away from that nickel. Remember, as soon as you said they went with 5 DBs and they're going to put Ken Harvey on the line, now you got to change because they're just gashing them in the run. And that's what they're doing. Now they go back to their 3-backer set.
You're right. Rich Owens back in at defensive end. First and 10 at the 41-yard line of the Bills, or of the Redskins, I should say. Buffalo has been successful running the ball, and they keep it on the ground. Derek Holmes, but this time the Redskins stopped Holmes after a gain of only a yard.
Well, and now when they're going to do that and they have their 3 receivers in, then to counter that, Kelly again will go back to throwing the football. And it's a matter of cat and mouse. You do this, I do this. You can't cover that, boom, we come right back. You see with the no huddle, it's not quite the hurry up, but they still have a lot of time to make adjustments at the line of scrimmage.
Second and 5, they put Harvey in pass coverage, and Kelly going deep, and the pass is caught to the 10-yard line. And Carter making the play on Andre Reed, who makes his first reception of the game, a 30-yard pickup.
Well, and then the first thing is he has a lot of time to throw. No pass rush at all. Kelly could just step right into that thing, and then you're going to watch. As soon as he breaks to the inside, there's nobody to the middle of the field. No safeties. It looks like he's playing the outside, looking for safety help, but there's nothing there.
And Thurman Thomas is there in the backfield for the Bills and gets the ball. Thomas spinning his way, fights, touchdown, Buffalo. That is as decisive a drive as any team has run off the Redskins this year. Big play, and it was the touchdown by Thomas.
Well, and again, there's Ruben Brown with the block right there on Dexter Nottage right up here, and then it's just right up inside. And then it's a question of poor tackling and nice running. Watch the spin, watch the control, and then he just drives through the end zone.
Steve Christie with the extra point ties the score at 7-7. Thurman Thomas with touchdown number 6 on the ground. And the Bills quickly get back in the game.
Fred Carroll and his line of scrimmage. You could see him pull it on the jersey. Once you put that hand outside the shoulders of the defender, the referee will almost always call holding.
Keith Byers, when we talked about Miami, his former team yesterday, Marino's the most confident player that I have ever seen by far. He said, no defense for a perfect pass, and I can throw a perfect pass, is the way Marino operates. Right there for Pritchett to the 40-yard line to get back about the 10 they lost on the penalty. Confidence, cockiness, all qualities you'd want in your quarterback?
The greatest quality you could ever give a quarterback is to have the confidence of a Dan Marino. And I've always said, and I mean this as a compliment, he's never thrown an incompletion or an interception that was on him. He comes back out in the field still feeling good, and he can create positive plays because of that.
Second down and 11. Marino steps away from trouble. And now trying to get it loose. No flag down. Fans want grounding. Johnson and McGinnis were all over.
About this guy Dan Marino, that when it starts with his father. Now you see the replay now, and here comes Marino. He's going to step up. He feels Slade right there. He steps up. Now watch what he does. He pumps. Now he just throws. He knows he's going to get hit. There's nobody out there, but he throws.
Thomas now with 60 rushing touchdowns, 20 as a receiver in the company of Marcus Allen, Jim Brown, and Lenny Moore. You can't get much better than that.
No, those are all Hall of Fame names. Thurman Thomas has the same kind of ring to it, doesn't it?
William Bell and Brian Mitchell are back deep, and it's going to be Mitchell returning from the 10. And dragged out of bounds. Buffalo doing a great job, and that was Mark Pike on the special teams coverage, and that was an 86-yard drive, and this was the key play.
Yeah, the key play. Andre Reed gets inside. Tom Carter is playing the outside, expecting help to the inside, but they ran the tight end right at the safety, and that opened that area. And you can't do that with Andre Reed. If there's a hole, he's going to find it. Jim Kelly knows where 83 is all the time, has for years.
54 of those yards came on the ground, the last 10 from Thurman Thomas. Redskins have a first down on their 23. 7-7 the score. Terry Allen flag first, and the penalty apparently will be against the Redskins.
False start. Number 89 offense prior to the snap. 5 yards penalty. Still first down.
And that'll bring up first and 15.
This is a good test for this Washington Redskin team to see where they're at. They're on the road, on turf, going against a strong defense and an offense that's waiting to explode. Their defense has to pick it up, and then this guy right here, he can't miss throws like he did on that last drive.
Barat's numbers 5 for 10. First and 15. Barat being chased, dumps it off. Screen pass to Terry Allen, and Allen nearly got them all back.
I'm going to tell you something today. Bruce Smith blew off the ball, and Trey Johnson wasn't going to let him go anywhere. Watch the quick jump. Boom, upfield, now inside. Now here's Trey Johnson. Trey Johnson just buries him. And because there's no pressure to that side, he has the time. He just looks underneath and finds Terry Allen, who runs through. You know, you look at Bruce Smith. He's not a big guy. I mean, he's 265 pounds. He's kind of small. Trey Johnson is a man mountain.
And Joe Patton was a guy he was looking to get after. As Mark Logan, a couple of yards, fumble. And it's recovered by the Bills.
That's only their second fumble since week 2. Actually, their first fumble since week 2.
And only the 7th turnover of the season. Another prescription for success for the Redskins, and it was Matt Stevens, the strong safety, who recovered the fumble.
And that was funny. The ball was on the ground, and there were Redskin guys just standing around. I think it was Bob Dahl, who's not. Bob Dahl's inside. Trey Johnson's looking up here, and the ball's down there.
He's right at his feet.
Yeah, look at this. Look at Trey Johnson. Heck, he could have eaten that thing if he wanted it, but he's looking the wrong spot.
What?
Hopefully not do that.
Right there.
So the Bills get the ball in Redskin territory. They're on the 35 of Washington. First turnover of the game. Here's Thurman Thomas. Nothing doing there, and Sean Gilbert.
There's a nice matchup on the inside. You can see it's only the second fumble lost in 485 handles. And that's the one thing that they have preached from training camp on, is don't turn the ball over, and they've been fortunate to this point.
Second down, 10. Jim Kelly pulls it down. Takes off. And Kelly makes the most out of very little, and the Redskins will be shy by about 3 yards for the first down. Kelly had nowhere to go with it. That'll bring up third down. Maybe 4.
A 6-yard gain, 3rd and 4.
No huddle, and this is what Jim Kelly wants to run. It's his game all the way on the no huddle, known as the K-gun here in Buffalo. Thomas out of the shotgun. First down. That was all side the 20-yard line. Darryl Pounds brought him down.
That was all Jim Kelly. They get up to the line of scrimmage. He looked over the defense. He saw the safety was sitting back, audible. Now you're going to send your offensive line pull and go around to the left side and run to where nobody is.
Gain of 10 yards. 3 wide receivers, and the Bills with another first down on the 19. Thurman Thomas again off the left side. Picks up about a yard, that's all. And a flag is down. Thomas, who was shaken up earlier, came back and scored a touchdown from 10 yards out to tie the game at 7-7.
Personal foul. Number 80 offense for a hit to the head. 15-yard penalty. Still first down.
Moles, the rookie. Yeah, Eric Moles, rookie from Mississippi State, first-round draft choice.
He's learning, you know what, right here. He's learning life in the NFL. It's not the guy who takes his first swing or anything like that or puts the punch. It's the second guy, and that's what he did. And they were wrestling back and forth, and he gave him a shot right to the kisser, and he got called. A lot of promise for Eric Moles, and they like what they see in him, obviously, which is why they made him a number 1. But he hasn't picked this offense up, and one of the reasons is this offense that Kelly likes to run. It takes a while to pick up and learn the nuances of that K-gun offense because it revolves around Jim Kelly. And he'd give you a nod or a wink or a look. You got to learn that.
Moles has caught only 8 passes in the first half of the year. First down and 24. Back to the 33-yard line of the Redskins. Thurman Thomas on a sweep. Still going. And out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Scott Turner ran him out of bounds, and a gain of 11 yards for Thomas.
Well, you know, so much has been talked about this Buffalo Bill offense and not playing well. And a lot of it was levied on that offensive line. And I'll tell you what, right now it looks like that offensive line is playing pretty well. Conversely, the defensive front of the Washington Redskins is getting their rear ends handed to them.
Again, out of the shotgun, a running play, and this one fizzles as Sean Gilbert just smothers Thurman Thomas.
You know, who he smothers first is his old roommate, Reuben Brown, inside. Watch these two right here. Watch, he's going to take them strength on strength, cat and mouse, get out of my way. Let me have you. Give me something to eat. You better believe he's talking to his old roommate right after that. There they are. From Pitt, Reuben Brown was 2 years behind him. Sean Gilbert was the upperclassman, but they roomed together.
Third down and 14 for Jim Kelly. And his pass caught by Andre Reed. Reed gets some extra yards, short of the first down. But Bills are in field goal range. That was an 8-yard pickup and another penalty down. And this one will be against the Bills, so let's wait and see before the field goal story comes in.
You know, it's interesting. We're talking about the Buffalo Bills and all these players, and the guys we mentioned are the guys who've been there for the long time.
And they've kept that nucleus. They made sure with all the changes, they kept the Reeds, the Thomases, and the Kellys.
And the Bruce Smiths on the other side. And then they add a Bryce Pop, and Kent Hull's been there for a long time.
There were 2 men moving on the offensive team. Number 89. Penalty is declined.
It'll be a fourth down as 2 men moving, and so Steve Christie will come in to try the field goal and attempt to give the Bills the lead for the first time today. Christie, one of the more accurate kickers in the National Football League, 17 of 19.
They're missing a guy right now, and Reuben Brown ran off and didn't report, and now they're rushing back in. Coombs, the extra tight end, they're just going to tell him what to do.
This will be a 33-yard field goal attempt. And Christie's kick is good, and the Bills take the lead for the first time, 10-7 on Steve Christie, 33-yard field goal.
Miller Lite presents You Gotta Love Sundays.
Okay, great.
Designed to help simplify.
Joey Galloway says, well, maybe I can't beat him in the 40 yards if we're in a race, but maybe after
the next 60.
The second 60.
Although
got a chance.
Although Chris Sanders, again, kind of poo-pooed that.
Breeze to the air, complete to Joey Galloway. And that's another first down for Seattle. Chris Dishman there a little late.
Well, I'll tell you what. Like I said before, here's a guy that is his speed is being respected. Watch Dishman here. I mean, these also defensive guys they've got to be aware where the first down marker is. Dishman, way too much. I mean, obviously they're in the zone and he's got to be back there, but he's got to be at least be close enough to the receiver in the zone to make a play on the guy.
Seattle finally getting the ball going through the air to Joey Galloway. This is Warren again. He gets
$50 of package values at no extra charge.
Point, and Miami moves in front 14-7. You're watching the NFL on NBC.
At your Plymouth dealer. Aren't they clever?
Agent Mulder discovers a past life that will change his future forever.
Mulder, no!
A brand new
Oilers a couple of years ago picked up 5 there. And from the 37, Seahawks trying to keep this drive alive. Nice play action by Cruz, and he's got his tight end, Carlos Crumpler.
Tight end, heck, he don't care. He just runs in. They give him instructions. What do I do? Block that guy right in front of you. So, heck, he just gets in there, sticks his skinny little rear end in there along with those other monsters and does an outstanding job.
I beg your pardon?
Yeah, he gets back into the sideline, and everybody's high-fiving him and patting him on the back, and that's the value of keeping your head in the game at all times.
Steve Christie to kick off after the field goal by Christie from 33 yards. Brian Mitchell returning it for the Redskins. And Mitchell is dropped at the 22-yard line. Today's Aflac trivia question is who holds the record for the most touchdown passes in a game versus the Bills? And the answer coming up. So it's 10-7 as the Bills take advantage and capitalize on Mark Logan's fumble. Something the Redskins have avoided those kinds of mistakes this year. The Redskins stopped the possible touchdown drive, but the three-pointer gives the Bills the lead by that much. Now the Redskins go to work at the 21. Barat steps up, and the ball is dropped, and it is an incompleted pass, says the umpire. He was in the act of throwing, so it's an incomplete pass. And right now, for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Hey, Dick, no more winless teams in the league, not even the Falcons, who got 109 yards on the ground by that man, Jamal Anderson. This one, a 32-yard run. Falcons up in the Panthers. Back to Dick and Bub Miller.
I always know how he's born. They always call me Bub from the studio.
2nd and 10 at the 21. Gave this to Terry Allen, who had an opening, and Allen brings it out to the 26-yard line, short of a first down by about 5 or 6. Chris Spielman on the stop.
Dick, you know, so much is talked about with all the young receivers and running backs in the game. I'm going to tell you who's going to be a star in this game right now, and that's Trey Johnson, number 77. I mean, he's big. He lost that guy. I mean, he still got a little bit of a front porch, but he had a monster. He lost himself about 30 pounds. I think this is one of the really good offensive linemen in this league.
That's quite a front porch he has.
That's a heck of a rack, I'll tell you.
3rd and 5. Leslie Shepard in motion, and the pick pass off the hand of Jamie Asher. Marlon Kerner was defending, so the Bills clamped down defensively and forced the Redskins to kick it away. You know, more on that Trey Johnson getting back. He had missed the Colts game with a sprained right knee. Practice on Wednesday, and a much better offensive line with Johnson got his position and Patton moved to tackle.
He is a physical. You saw what he did to Bruce Smith. I mean, just flabbed him. He's capable of that play after play with big guys.
Matt Turk will be kicking to Jeff Burris. 6:33 remaining in the first half. Not a good kick by Turk, and the Redskins will down it at the 42-yard line. Unlikely kick of only 32 yards for Matt Turk.
Stars collide. Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills battle Ricky Waters and the Eagles. Or two top quarterbacks clash as Dan Marino leads the Dolphins against Jim Harbaugh and the Colts. Or regional action, the NFL on NBC next Sunday.
Key plays on the 12-play, 65-yard Miami.
And he'll throw this one out of bounds.
Now, to this last series, Dan, you've watched Darrell Lewis. Remember before this series, they were playing a lot of zone. And Joey Galloway had all the time in the world. Now, these last couple plays, Darrell Lewis has moved up late. He's come up to go bump, and they've been playing real tight zone. They did get one off to Carlos Crumpler as a safety valve in the play before this, but this one just nobody open in man-to-man coverage.
Todd Peterson, good from 25 yards out. Spot this one at the 25, so a 35-yard attempt. He has made 22 of his last 23 field goal attempts. And he just gets that inside the right upright. So it's been a field goal battle so far. And
I got Affleck.
Sixth of the year.
You know, we've talked about Bledsoe making such great decisions in the last few games, the last 5 or 6 games. This was really, I mean, a poorly thrown ball. He just throws this thing up for grabs. He just heaves it. Well, no purpose.
Well, the thought was good, Paul, but what?
Once again, today's Aflac trivia question: who holds the record for the most touchdown passes in a game versus the Bills? And the answer, Darryl LaMonica. He threw for 6 touchdowns for the Raiders. The victory over the Bills back in 1969. LaMonica was traded by Buffalo in '67 for Tom Flores and Art Powell. Familiar names in AFL basketball lore. 1st and 10 at the 42. Fakes a handoff, and Kelly gets it out to Steve Tasker. Tasker, with his first reception of the game, gets good yardage, and it was Sean Gilbert.
I'll tell you, he hit Quinn Early down the sideline on Tom Carter. And he knew he had him, but boy, he wanted that ball. But Kelly had made his decision quick right away because he saw Tasker back underneath.
2nd and 4. Here's Derek Holmes. Holmes diving close to the first down marker into Redskin territory.
He'll be close to the first down.
It's easy to see as the Buffalo Bills, I mean, looking from this vantage point, every time, I want you to watch this line of scrimmage. Here's line of scrimmage. Watch how it moves this way. First there's a stalemate, and then everything gets going forward. That's a good sign for the Buffalo Bills. Bad sign for the Redskins. Because that offensive line, led by Kent Hull, 67, that center, and Reuben Brown, 79, are winning the battle up front.
Talk about this being a measuring stick for the Redskins, and it is for the Bills as well. Team that is 5-3 in a tough contest coming up next week against the Eagles, who, in case you did not hear, and you could see they are short by just a couple of inches. The Eagles defeated the Dallas Cowboys, so Norv Turner's Redskins with a victory in mind today to retain the 1-game lead over Philadelphia in the division race.
And Norv Turner was nervous about this game. Marv Levy, on the other hand, was kind of relaxed talking to him prior to the game. Marv's been around it a long, long time, and he just looks at it and says, you know, we're gonna try to do the things we do best. Norv, on the other hand, was saying this one makes me nervous because you just wait for Kelly in that running game to get going.
3rd and 1. You know what was interesting about Marv Levy? He said he takes an hour and a half to go home and write down what he's going to tell his team before the game. Quarterback sneak and a first down for Jim Kelly to the 45-yard line. And all the cheers for Jim Kelly today. We've talked about the developments today in the NFC East with the Eagles beating the Cowboys. So Washington with a 7-1 mark. Philadelphia half a game behind. Cowboys dropped to 5-4, and the Giants defeated Arizona. 1st and 10, Derek Holmes. He is tough to bring down, and Holmes carries several defenders to the 31-yard line and gets 15. Darrell Morrison.
They are just, look at this offensive line. I mean, they're winning the battle. It's that simple. Ken Hull takes care of 2 people at one time, and then a nice job by Reuben Brown again, and Holmes is right up into the secondary.
On the 30-yard line, 1st down, Buffalo. Kelly goes up on top, knocked away by Tom Carter, intended for Andre Reed, but a fine play by Carter, who was tested heavily by Jim Harbaugh last week.
Well, and then the same kind of play. And they're going to take that safety. They're going to run a receiver at the safety to hold him. And then you give Carter, the corner, all kinds of problems. Reed uses his body to go inside. And actually, that's a good play by Reed. Tom Carter turned and pointed back, and he was right because Reed did the smart thing. The veteran move of getting the push and making sure that he doesn't come down with an interception.
It'll use Chris Brandley, number 82, replaces Reed on 2nd and 10. Kelly downfield, and he overthrows Brandley, and Tom Carter again defending. There's the no huddle, and today they have gone Jim Kelly's way. 33 plays with the no huddle, only 3 when they have had an official huddle and gone with 2 tight ends.
See, there's Besnahan, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, and this no huddle takes the offense out of his hands and puts it under the head of Jim Kelly out onto the field.
Bills have been not bad on 3rd down conversion, 3 for 7.
A lot of time to throw.
They need 10 yards. The drill and the pass is caught. And a catch by Eric Moles in a crowd, and the Bills will have a first down at the 16 of the Redskins.
Now, you talk about Jim Kelly, and they're talking about, boy, his arm's not the same. Baloney. Watch this throw. First of all, there's a lot of time to throw. Nobody was open. Good coverage down the field. And then he's going to scramble out to his right. Just kind of float. And then I want you to watch where this ball comes. And that ball comes, and it is threaded perfectly. Anybody who doubts his arm strength got to go see a doctor because they ain't seeing right.
14-yard gain, and Derek Holmes. Look at Holmes go. Derek Holmes inside the 5-yard line, and a gain of 10 yards. That's 9 carries and 49 yards for Derek Holmes as Sean Gilbert checks back into the game for the Skins.
Well, Sean Gilbert was out. Jim Kelly smartly runs right up inside. The time when Sean Gilbert has been in there in the middle of that defense, he's anchored it somewhat. But I got to tell you, the offensive line, Ostrowski inside, Kent Hull, and Reuben Brown, those inside 3, they've been winning the battle up front.
And it's been a maligned offensive line lately. As you see, the Bills are short by the length of a football, and 2 of those offensive linemen were shaken up last week but have come back, Reuben Brown and Glenn Parker, and Hull himself is playing with a turf toe.
Yeah, he shot that thing up. He's walking around as proud as can be. He said, I'll never dog one of those little guys about turf toe again. He's walking around with a brand new sneaker with a hole cut in the top of it. I saw him prior to the game. He said, I had to take a shot and play, but you know, I got to play.
No contest. The total yard story heavily in favor of Buffalo. 2nd and inches. Holmes gets the inches. And the Bills will have first down and goal inside the 4-yard line. Marcus Patton, who is appearing against his former team, number 53 for the Redskins, has been involved on a couple of plays. He was part of the Buffalo 4-year AFC dynasty, at least, that got to the Super Bowl but couldn't get the total job done.
Now they're going to go to the huddle. They changed personnel, and they'll bring a play in to Jim Kelly.
10th play of the drive. 1st and goal at the 3. Tim Tyndale is the blocking back for Holmes. Scores. Touchdown, Buffalo. Derek Holmes scored his first career touchdown last week and has number 2 right here in the first half today.
Well, you saw Reuben Brown earlier pulling to the right. Now it's Ostrowski and Parker, and they're going to pull to the left. Watch, these two guys are going to go outside. Fina does a nice job of crushing everybody inside. There's Ostrowski's block. There's Parker, and then Holmes is right into the end zone. Heck, look at it. He's running so well. Heck, things are flopping off of him.
Steve Christie with the extra point. Derek Holmes, 11 carries, 53 yards, and this touchdown to give the Buffalo Bills a 17-7 lead over the Redskins.
Slammed down the yard loss at the 20. So that brings up 3rd down. Meggett comes in from the sidelines.
Let's go back to that first play when he
forward to this, so let's get right into it. Now, more from Mike Ditka's Alien Guide to Football.
Twice last week. Keith Byers aside. Well, guess what? Yeah, they did.
Well, they lost 10.
3rd down and 12. And that's going to be a full start. It was Daryl Gardner who jumped into the backfield, but looked as if one of the Patriots lurched on that offensive line. Officials a little powwow.
But if Daryl Gardner moved first, it should be a penalty on the Miami defense.
Throws the football. He has the 3 wide receivers. He has them spread out. When they try to go to nickel, he just runs. You see Sean Gilbert gets out there, boom, he just run right back inside. That's one key. The other biggest key is the offensive line is taking over the game.
That is the key, and you mentioned that as Marv Levy just stays the course, remains unflappable. Christie kicks off Brian Mitchell on the return. And Mitchell brings it out to the 33-yard line. Well, a big doubleheader on Fox next week. Matt, you and I will be at Arrowhead Stadium for the clash between the Packers and the Chiefs in the first half of our doubleheader, beginning at 1 o'clock Eastern. And in the second half, it'll be the Cowboys and the 49ers from San Francisco.
Boy, that is going to be a great day of football. The Cowboys and the 49ers still the elite in this game. And then the Green Bay Packers, who won again, even despite the people who are hurt in Kansas City, who a lot of people talked about them going to the Super Bowl this year. They're struggling right now.
Barry Allen on first down gets a couple of yards as the Redskins start from their 33.
Now this is where Tom Bresnahan does all of his coaching. And this is where you come to the sideline and you get both guys on the same page. And they just start talking. This is what they're doing. This is what we want to go to. And then the rest is up to Jim Kelly.
2-minute warning here at Rich Stadium. Gus Barat to the sideline. 17-7 Buffalo.
The season. This is what we have to get back to. And that's what these guys are taught. The guy catches the ball, strip it.
Well, leading 14-7. Marino from the 33. Abdul-Jabbar. Miami, one of the best in the league in the turnover ratio, a +9 starting today. Surprising Bengals, the leader there, and New England +4. Green Bay is +15.
Fresh.
Bells. The ball away, and now we're coming down to the 2-minute warning, and Miami only has 1 timeout left.
14-7 Dolphins.
They arranged to pick me up free, so I don't.
Watch your future's end.
We invade our space, and we fall back. Assimilate.
US Healthcare have joined forces to create a partnership.
Let's rock and roll.
Begins.
Destroy them.
We've lost shields and our weapons are gone.
Resistance is futile.
No!
Star Trek First Contact, rated PG-13, starts November 22nd in theaters everywhere.
Homer's involved in a plot to control the world.
We are totally mad.
On The Simpsons season premiere, part of a full hour tonight on Non-Stop Fox.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. The Bills lead by 10. And they have succeeded in stopping Terry Allen thus far with only 17 rushes, 17 yards and 9 rushes. And Thurman Thomas has 58 yards. And let's not forget Derek Holmes, who also has 53 yards and a touchdown for the Bills.
No, they're on a roll. That offensive line, like I said, is taking over the game. On the other side of the ball, the Washington Redskins haven't been in sync in their passing game, and they had to do that in order to open up the run game.
2nd and 7 on the Redskin 36. Barat fires, and the pass is caught by Jamie Asher. And that'll be a first down just short of midfield. The Redskins have 3 timeouts remaining, as do the Bills. And the clock continues to run. There's the timeout story. Redskins looking to narrow that 10-point deficit before intermission. It'll be first down for Washington on their 49. Brian Mitchell, and a big loss on the play. Chris Spielman.
Spielman came on a blitz. Calculated move from the Buffalo Bills defense. That's Wade Phillip, and a good call.
3-yard loss and a...
I got to tell you, I don't like this right now. I think the Redskins are wasting a lot of time. I don't care if they have 3 timeouts or not.
Coming up on the Dockers Khakis halftime, Matt, JB and Terry will bring you scores and highlights from week number 10. All that and more on the Dockers Khakis halftime report. 2nd and 13. Barat trying to get some yardage, throws it away. It was intended for Leslie Shepard.
Intended for Leslie Shepard.
Harlan Kerner did a good job defending Shepard on the out pattern. So 48 seconds showing on the clock. It'll be 3rd down and 13. Barat 7 of 15 for 71 yards, but the running game has not been there for the Redskins in this half. Looking for a receiver, and a flag is thrown.
That's going to be on Bruce Smith.
There's a flag on the play.
Bruce Smith's game, in a lot of ways, he has some Howie Long in him.
False start
prior
to the snap. Number 68 offense. That's a 5-yard penalty.
Got Joe Patton. I want you to watch. They're going to call Joe Patton. You watch Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith, what he does very, very well is anticipates. And that was a lot of what Howie Long did. Yeah, see, he gave the little move, and then Patton moved, and then Smith jumped after it. But Bruce Smith, he'll see that, and he'll hear the count, and if a quarterback ever gets into a rhythm, it's lights out. He'll look like he's 2 steps ahead of everybody else.
He was gearing up for Joe Patton today. He didn't like some of the things Patton had said during the week. 3rd down and 18, and the pass is incomplete. It was Kurt Schulz defending against the former Buffalo Bill, Bill Brooks.
Yeah, but Bruce Smith was right there. Smith made Farrat feel the pressure, and Farrat threw that ball away a little faster than he had to. Smith is going to work. He's going to come back inside of this stunt. Hansen will drive up inside. There you see he gets inside. Farrat feels that thing, and he lets it fly a little bit too soon. Brooks is going to work on the out pattern, and the ball just takes off on him.
And Schulz could not keep his feet in bounds, so it's 4th down, and Matt Turk kicking again. He has punted in the 30s on 2 occasions in this half. Jeff Burris inside the 15. Finds some running room to the far side, and Matt Turk misses it and finally goes out of bounds. Good field position for the Bills, who have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Well, they strike without warning and kill without mercy. Witnesses the most terrifying animal encounters ever caught on tape. A riveting, all-new special, When Animals Attack, Part 2. Parental discretion advised. Tonight on Non-Stop Fox. Thurman Thomas checking into the game. 29 seconds to go in the first half. First down, Bills on their own 40. Kelly out of the shotgun. He has time, and the pass is caught by Andre Reed, couldn't get out of bounds. And the Bills are forced to call a timeout. 23 seconds remaining in the half.
Their goals are as basic as a first home, an education, a secure retirement. Yet they own over half of all the stock in America. They are...
Oh, the official was the defender as Meggett couldn't get...
Flag had dropped it.
First and 20 now. Eddie George pushed back. He'll lose even more, and Houston is backed up in this.
Out of the way, but Dave Meggett, nobody around him, no defender. All of them were at least 10 to 15 yards deep down the field. Drew Bledsoe doing a good job of seeing the underneath receiver wide open.
34 seconds left in the half. Glenn gets a block, and the rookie scrambles to the sidelines.
And Brian Walker involved on the play. And Matt, in this quarter, Jim Kelly became the 11th quarterback in NFL history to throw for over 34,000 yards, adding another notch to his achievements.
And he had to be licking his chops looking at this Washington Redskins defense. You know, I've said this, I don't know, from the beginning of the season. A couple of things that the Redskins don't do very well. I mean, they've been inconsistent in their run defense because they don't really have guys who are going to step up and fill the holes. They don't have a legitimate pass rusher. Now, Sean Gilbert will be doubled all the time. Outside, you have a guy in Ken Harvey who gives you a great effort, but he's not going to beat you with athletic ability. If you stop on him, he'll get you.
Till today, no starting defensive lineman had a sack in the last 3 games. First and 10 at the 42. And it looks like Kelly had drawn off the Redskins. Let's see what the official call is from Larry Numbers. 16 seconds remaining in the half, and the Bills have 1 timeout. Now it looks like that may go against Kelly.
We'll see. You know, so much is talked about with Kelly in that offense. We talked about this earlier.
Neutral zone infraction on number 94.
Right. That was Sean Gilbert.
That's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
But he plays with such confidence, and here's the reason why. Look at these 2 guys right here. Thurman Thomas and Andre Reed along with Jim Kelly. But look at these names up here. Lenny Moore, Ray Barry, Unitas, Terry Bradshaw, Stallworth and Swan, Matt Snell, Don Maynard, Jim Taylor. I mean, that's a who's who of NFL football.
First down and 5. Kelly's pass to Andre Reed. Short of the first down. The clock continues to run. And the Bills still have a timeout left. And they use it now with 3 seconds remaining. And will attempt a field goal at the conclusion, final play of this half.
Reaching your financial goals can be a complex balancing act. At the Principal Financial Group, you will find the strength of our investment performance.
Flag, and now they're going to call time.
Timeout.
Miami calls time.
The final charge timeout.
When they saw the 3 substitutes come on, Miami said being stuck with that same personnel, Phil. Now,
That's
Jimmy,
right.
That was a wise call.
Well, I think it confused everybody. Drew Bledsoe was called.
50 yards. He has not attempted one from this distance this year. High snap, and Christie bangs it left. He hooked it left, and the Bills come up empty on their final burst, and that is the end of the first half, though, with the score. The Bills 17, Redskins 7. Dockers Khakis halftime report following these messages from your local Fox station.
Third rock.
Aliens discover football.
If you make it all the way down to the big poles, you get to dance.
His replacement, Don Mikowski, to Barry Sanders, breaks a couple of tackles, and the kind of run that only Barry Sanders can come up with. 18 yards and a touchdown. He had 105 yards. on 14 carries in the first half, 10-7 Detroit. Pack came out smoking in the second half, though. Favre scrambles, finds Terry Mickens, makes the diving catch for his second touchdown of the day. Packers went up 21-10. They won it 28-14. In Pittsburgh, the Steelers roll. They're 7-2 on the year. They win it 42-6. In Baltimore, the Ravens fall to the Bengals 24-21. Bengals guard Scott Brumfield taken University of Maryland Medical Center with a suspected spinal injury. He is undergoing diagnostic tests and x-rays as we speak. In Atlanta, the Falcons win their first of the season 20-17 over Carolina. At the Meadowlands, the New York Giants knock off the Cardinals 16-8. The Cardinals are 3-6 on the year. And in Chicago, the Bears hold on to beat Tampa Bay 13-10. Quick programming note. Tonight on Dateline Sunday, immediately after our football coverage, we'll bring you Jane Pauley's interview.
Bruce Smith, what's he doing? It's supposed to be a quarterback commercial. I don't know. Maybe someone should tell that to Bruce. I'm not telling him. Troy, you tell him.
Which way did the officials see it? Well, all you have to do is look at Louis Oliver's left arm. He's got it pushing Coates with his left arm, and he reaches in and knocks the ball down with his right.
In the end zone, by rule, the ball is placed at the 1-yard line.
When you don't complain that much, you know that you committed pass interference.
Not only that, he never turns around and looks at the ball. He impedes the receiver where the receiver has no chance to come back and get the football. Definitely pass interference.
So they mark it on the 1, first and goal. 10 seconds remain. Runner pass. Bledsoe. To throw it away, and a flag is down in the end zone. 6 seconds left. Keith Byers was the man Bledsoe was looking to. You know why? 12 men on the field for Miami.
After this, still first down.
They had was looking, and they tried to sneak one guy off. Aaron Jones tries to sneak off afterwards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Couldn't get them all in there, but an extra defensive back. Or no, 97, an extra defensive lineman out there.
But after the play, Aaron Jones tries to sneak off the field, but they'd already caught him. Now they put the 4 seconds back on the clock. 10 seconds. No, now they're taking 3 seconds back. It was down to 6. They put it to 10. Now reduced it to 7. You'll have to figure that one out yourself.
Well, they still have 1 timeout left, so it does give New England a chance to run the football if they want to and call a timeout in this situation.
Curtis Martin. Did he get in? Yes. Touchdown. Bill Parcells Patriots battle back to tie before halftime.
And this whole drive was set up, Paul and Jake, by the fact that they called timeout down at the other end with 1 minute and 8 seconds left. They decided to call timeout after 3rd down to give themselves an opportunity to score before halftime.
I like your call on this last call because if you take a look at the clock with Martin in the end zone, there's still 4 seconds on the clock. They had the opportunity to run a play and to call a timeout. Still wouldn't run the clock out. That was a good call.
You're at home. They won't let the clock run out on you.
Jim Terry's brought an engine to the extra point here, missing 3 this season, but he's good twice today. And with 4 seconds left in the half, it's tied at 14. They got the ball with 1:03 left after the missed field goal by Nedney, and here's the end result. Barely in. Martin right at the goal line.
Curtis Martin just giving a little extra effort and being tough inside because Miami's defensive line gets some penetration and actually hits him a yard or 2 away from the end zone.
John Burke with a solid block to help Martin in, and Bill Parcells, he knows where his
with all that speed, takes it down into the end zone, and the Pack take care of the visiting Lions. 28.
Well, that's not our prevent. Yes, it is. I always say about the prevent, the reason I don't like it, it prevents the team from getting a field goal, and it enables them to get a touchdown. And in this case, all Drew Bledsoe did was just throw underneath the 2 safeties and just march right down the field. He had 1 minute and 19 seconds.
Paul, you're right. The one thing I do not like about the prevent defense, it always allows the offense to get started, get the drive going, you get in some rhythm, and once an offense gets in rhythm, they usually throw some good plays together, and like you say, it gives them a chance to score touchdowns.
That was an impressive drive in 1 minute and 4 seconds, 65 yards.
helped out on a couple of occasions by Miami penalties. Vinatieri just splits one down, and final seconds tick away, and that'll be it for the half. So Drew Bledsoe and Dan Marino hooked up in a
12:38. It was captured by 10,000 Celts.
Plug people in and get the job done, and he's doing that. Now, the thing that Mike told us a couple of weeks ago, he's staying with that running game, and the running game is really helping. It's giving them balance.
All right, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, a winner today. Big time, 42-6 over the St. Louis Rams. Remember, we were feeling sorry for the Steelers on opening day when they lost Greg Lloyd. I don't think anybody's feeling sorry for them anymore.
I got to tell you, I was one of those guys. And I'll tell you, they're winning with defense. They're rushing the football. We've talked to them many times on the show what Bettis has meant to them. And I tell you right now, they are on a roll.
In Pittsburgh's schedule, they don't play a team with a winning record until the middle of December. This is the team that's going to have home field advantage.
And we've said it before, we'll say it again. Those guys sure love to play football for Bill Cowher, don't they?
Got it.
Our NFL on NBC halftime activities continue.
In the 100-yard universe.
This message for
Continues with their battle of field goal kickers. Seahawks on top by 3. When we come back, I guess we'll just come back and just talk a little bit. It'll be in Buffalo, right? Might as well. Docker by 3. When we come back, I guess we'll just come back and just talk a little bit. It'll be in Buffalo, right? Might as well. Dockers halftime continues after this.
on Fox. Still grows, but only.
Halftime, the Patriots and the Dolphins are tied at 14. Two of the best throwing quarterbacks in the AFC, Marino and Bledsoe, and you've got 2 rushing touchdowns for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and 2 for Curtis Martin.
Well, that's true, but I tell you what Miami's doing, they're rushing the ball. Now, New England hasn't been able to rush it very well. They have to depend on Bledsoe's arm. It's really a good, solid football game, but I think the strength of the game, again, right now is Miami running the football because they did it the first time they played him, and that's why they beat him. If they continue, that's how they're going to win this game, if they can win it.
Curtis Martin has 2 touchdowns. He's 9 carries for 9 yards in the first half. In Minnesota, low-scoring football game. The Kansas City Chiefs leading the Vikings by a score of 7-0. What's the story in this game, Joe?
Well, the story is both these offenses are struggling, and they continue to struggle. Mike's laughing over here. Minnesota's rushed for 8 yards, okay? Kansas City for 73. And that's the edge, really, right now. This would be a great game with both offenses having a tough time doing anything to kick some field goals, but neither team can kick a field goal. They both miss field goals.
Marcus Allen, 1-yard run for a touchdown. That is 110th rushing touchdown of his NFL career. That ties Walter Payton for #1 all-time. In Buffalo, Redskins with a 7-game winning streak on the line, trailing the Bills 17-7 at halftime. And in Seattle, the game that you are watching, the Seahawks by a field goal over the Houston Oilers. Earlier today, in Indianapolis, Chargers knocked off the Colts 26-19 the final score. Bad day for Colt quarterback Jim Harbaugh. 5 turnovers for him today, 4 on interceptions. This picked by Kurt Govea set up a Charger touchdown. Junior Seau back in the lineup after missing a game with a pair of injured knees. He forces the Harbaugh fumble, recovered by Chris Mims at the Indy 42-yard line. And 6 plays later, San Diego cashed in. Sean Salisbury finds Tony Martin. This is a 22-yard touchdown. Martin leading the NFL with 10 TD catches. Chargers win it 26-19, 23 of their 26 points coming off turnovers. In Dallas, the Philadelphia Eagles knocked off the Cowboys today 31-21. Emmitt Smith trying to fire his club up before kickoff. 10-7 Dallas in the second, just before halftime. Ty Detmer, his own number, takes it in from the 6. Eagles led 14-10 at halftime. It was 21-13 Philly in the 4th. Cowboys driving. Emmitt Smith from 7 yards out scores his 2nd touchdown of the day. Aikman threw a pass for a 2-point conversion. The game was tied at 21. It was 24. Big win on the road for the Eagles.
Yeah, it sure was, and Ty Detmer was absolutely sensational today, but it was one of those days you just don't expect Troy Aikman to make that big mistake that he made at the end of the game. It was 24-21. At the very least, Dallas has to come out of that with a field goal. Overtime at home, you have to like their chances. Really a blown opportunity by Troy Aikman.
You'll see the Eagles here on NBC. Next week, they host the Buffalo Bills. In Green Bay, the Packers beat the Detroit Lions 28-18, the final score at Lambeau Field. Lions quarterback Scott Mitchell sidelined with sore ribs. His replacement, Don Mikowski, gives to Barry Sanders. Can make an 18-yard touchdown run. Oh, so exciting. He had 105 yards rushing on 14 carries in the first half. and at 152 on the day. But the Pack came out smoking in the second half. Favre to Terry Mickens, diving catch, his second TD. Pack went up 21-10. Favre, 4 touchdown passes, 25 on the year. The Packers win it 28-18. The Steelers keep on rolling. They've won 7 of 8 now. They win it 42-6 over the Rams. In Baltimore, the Bengals on a Doug Pelfrey field goal at the final gun win it 24-21. Bengals guard Scott Brumfield with a spine injury was taken to the University of Maryland Medical Center. He is undergoing x-rays and diagnostic tests as we speak. In Atlanta, the Falcons win their first of the year 20-17 over the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers fall to 5-4. At the Meadowlands, the Giants a winner 16-8 over the Cardinals. Giants improved to 4-5. They've won 4 of their last 6 games. And in Chicago, the Bears have won 2 in a row. They are 4-5 on the year. They beat Tampa Bay by a score of 13-10. A quick programming note. Tonight on Day
NFL Sunday Ticket.
In Baltimore, Jeff Blake.
Getting ready for the start of the third quarter. The Bills lead the Redskins 17-7. The big discussion this week was whether the Bills would stick with the no huddle or go with what Coach Marv Levy preferred to have a huddle, but it's been the no huddle, which Jim Kelly prefers, and they have responded in a big way, man.
I don't think there's any question. I think Jim Kelly's been at the top of his game. I think, you know, when they start running the football the way they have, their offensive line is taking that game over. Kelly's seeing everything perfect. Sees the big picture. Go ahead and throw when they have their run defenders in. When they take them out, you go ahead and run. So I think it's been perfect.
And they've had 2 runners over 50 yards, so they have already over 100 yards rushing, and that was Thurman, Thomas, and Derek Holmes. And Matt, this is where they're running against the Redskins.
It's easy to see where they're running. You're going to see left, middle, right. Now remember, when they run to the right, that's that play that you saw with Reuben Brown, where he'd start here and then pull this way, and they'd come right up inside. All of that stuff is good, solid football. And it also tells you that the defense in front of the Washington Redskins, which we talked about at the beginning, which weakness would be strong? Right now, it's Buffalo's offense that's really been strong, and the Washington Redskin defense continues to struggle.
But you pointed out how the Redskin defense, and they've given up a lot of yards, but not many points, but they've given up 17 so far. This is the 1-2 punch of Derek Holmes and Thurman Thomas and what they've done on the ground in the first half. Each has scored a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, and they're just really running at will. And then the only thing that stopped them, well, in that second drive, the only thing that stopped them was the end zone. They just ran out of territory. I'll tell you, you look at Kent Hull inside, and Ostrowski at one guard, and Parker at one tackle, Fina the other tackle, Reuben Brown. They've been the difference in this first half. And so now it's going to come down to what the Washington Redskins can do defensively to stop them.
Coming into the game, the Redskins were tied with the 49ers, 3rd in the league for the fewest points allowed, averaging only 14 points defensively. They've already allowed 17. Second half kickoff, and Brian Mitchell brings it out from the 2-yard line, and a good return by Brian Mitchell, and several flags thrown as Mitchell is finally brought down at the 40. That was a 38-yard return, pending the penalty.
Well, you talk to Marv Levy, who's still a big special teams guy. I mean, he was a special teams coach and a head coach.
But the Redskins special teams coach.
Yeah, and then you talk to him and he said, boy, Brian Mitchell is the best returner we're going to see all year.
Holding during the return, number 88. 10-yard penalty.
That's James Jenkins,
First
and
down
that
for
will
Washington.
bring back that outstanding return by Mitchell. And a time to take a look at the first half statistics. And look at that, already 247 total yards by the Bills.
Yeah, and then look right here, rushing yards for the Redskins. They said that they had to stop that running game, and the Bills have gotten that done. And now, this is where the Bills are strongest. They're a stronger defense when they have some points on the board, and they can dictate the flow of the game.
1st and 10, Redskins on their 18. 2 tight ends in there for Washington. Leslie Shepard in motion, and a rollout on a fake and a pass complete to Scott Galbraith, and a good first play. One thing you know about Norv Turner, if anyone can call plays in a game plan offensively, Norv Turner's the guy.
Well, and I think the other thing is, you know, so much was made about this Redskin team when Joe Gibbs was here, about how they adjusted at halftime. I got to tell you, Norv Turner has that in him. I mean, this is a classic example. They're going to come out. Now we're going to go play action with Terry Allen one way and bring Galbraith all the way across on the waggle. That's a tough play to stop.
21-yard pickup. On the Redskin 39, Terry Allen carries Chris Spielman for a couple of yards and picks up about 3.
The Redskins know right now if they have a chance in this game, they're going to have to score some points. I mean, it's that simple. Obviously, you know, you're down by 10. But I mean more than that. I mean, you're going to have to get some points because your defense is going to give them up. I mean, right now, that Buffalo offense is really humming. And so you have to catch and go beyond what the Buffalo Bills have done.
And if you were to ask Norv Turner, as we did last night, he would have preferred a 17-13 game to a high-scoring affair. But he's going to have to outscore the Bills, as you say, to win it. And here is Allen, Terry Allen, with a big burst and into Buffalo territory, and his biggest gain of the day, 20 yards, which matches his total thus far to the 36.
He and Ricky Waters are the 2 running backs this year that have really are having outstanding years. I mean, there are guys out there. These 2 guys just run with so much power. Terry Allen is so decisive and powerful. When he sees it, boom, he just goes up there and hits it.
Kirk Schultz and Jeff Burris brought down Allen. First down on the Bills' 38. And here's the rollout. And Barak loses the ball. It's a fumble. And it's recovered by Buffalo.
Bryce Pop came around the corner, knocked that thing down out of Farrat's hand as he was going to throw. And then it looked like Logan had a chance to pick it up.
Did Phil Hansen pick it up?
Well, Logan moved it. I mean, Logan blew it. But I want you to watch. Pop comes around the corner, and that's a legitimate hit and a legitimate fumble. Logan tries to go for the ball and doesn't get it. Buffalo comes down with it.
And it was Pop who made the hit. And the Bills recover.
This is Ford Escort.
Against the Giants and...
Last-second hit on John Freeze. John Freeze just basically threw that ball away. The coverage was so tight he had to throw that out of bounds.
So 3rd down and 6. Over the middle, incomplete. He wanted Ricky Prohl, and Prohl took a shot by Marcus Robertson.
Well, wherever Marcus Robertson was, if he wasn't there for that Brian Blades catch, he was certainly there to make the play on Ricky Prohl.
So that'll bring up 4th down and 6, and Todd Peterson is setting up for what would be a 47-yard field goal. That is the longest field goal he has this season.
Well, we'd like to find out about their success in red zone, but they're not making it to the red zone.
Todd Peterson's kick is...
Information you need at home with the world's #1 selling home computer with Intel Pentium processor. Packard Bell. Wouldn't you rather be at home?
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford Escort. It's new and it's nifty, made for the smart, the intelligent, thrifty. By Sprint, the official telecommunications provider to the NFL. By HBO, it's not TV, it's HBO. And by Packard Bell, the world's #1 selling home computer.
And it was Bryce Pop who made the hit, and Sam Rogers who recovered this for Buffalo.
Now, Bryce Pop came clean around the corner, and then saw right there where Logan had a chance, and all he came up with was some AstroTurf, and Rogers came up with the ball.
Bills with a first down in midfield, leading 17-7. Thurman Thomas drives off the left side, and good yardage, picks up nearly 9 yards before Marcus Patton makes the stop. Again, Thomas is shaken up. He was in the first quarter of this game. In the first 8 games of the year, the Redskins fumbled only once, that by Terry Allen. Already today, they have coughed it up twice.
The ball will be at the 42-yard line of the Redskins.
Well, you look at Bryce Pop as you're watching Thurman Thomas get up slow here. Bryce Pop makes the difference, and he's made the difference on this defense.
Big time he has. We'll take a timeout.
I spoke with both coaches, Dick. First, Bill Parcells said the second quarter was the worst quarter we have played all year. He said he told his guys we're very lucky to survive it, and hopefully we'll be able to come out with a victory. Now, as for Jimmy Johnson, he said the radio communications really hampered them, as well as the injury to his running back in the first half, because he said that was the guy that we used to communicate the plays, and with our communications out, we really struggled there, and it hurt us at the end of the half. Dick?
Thank you, Jim. Referring to Charis McPhail, who broke his arm and is out for the year. Dropped by Abdul-Jabbar, perhaps guilty of the run before the catch was secured.
One of the things that surprised me in that first half, Phil, is Miami. We thought, talking to Jimmy Johnson, their defense would be aggressive.
It's not TV. It's HBO.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Guns it for the sideline, but it's one hopped incomplete. Lamar Thomas is going to argue, but it appeared to bounce in.
Isn't it time you had Fidelity Investments working for you? This Friday.
Did you find a message on the body?
You have.
The wind still blowing.
Thurman Thomas, who has gained 76 yards and scored the first Buffalo touchdown, had the wind knocked out of him, so he should be back. Bills trying to capitalize on the second turnover of the game for the Redskins. They got a field goal out of the first one. It'll be 2nd down and 2 on the Redskin 42. Derek Holmes, who has gained over 50 yards, has enough for a Buffalo first down.
And running right behind Kent Hall, who to me is the anchor of that offensive line. Watch him right here. You have to get anything kind of run, you have to go to Sean Gilbert. Kent Hall does it and has been doing it as well as anybody in this league for a long time.
Thurman Thomas back in there for Buffalo. First down on the Redskins 39-yard line, and on the end around, Andre Reed fumbled, and the Redskins had it. Let's see who comes up with it. Darrell Green almost picked it up, and
that was a mistake. When there's a free ball like that, you got to fall. It's just that simple.
It's recovered by Buffalo. Darrell Green tried to pick it up and run with it before he had possession.
And Darrell knows it too. I mean, Darrell can feel that they need a big play.
Glenn Parker, the right tackle, wound up with it.
Now watch Green. He's going to follow it through. So he sees it, and he runs underneath. The ball pops up. That would have been 6 quick for Darrell Green.
I mean quick, but still Buffalo ball, 2nd and 15. And the pass underneath, and it's caught by Quinn Early. It'll be 3rd down. Gain of 8. It'll be 3rd down and about 5 yards for the Buffalo Bills. They have operated out of the no huddle virtually throughout the game, with the exception of 4 plays, it appears. 3rd and 7. And it's worked for them. Inside handoff fake, and the flip to Lonnie Johnson. First down, Buffalo. Knocked out of bounds, and the Bills, looking awfully sharp after losing 2 of their last 3, have a first down after the 14-yard gain. Here's what the Bills are playing for today. They went in tied with the Patriots for first place. New England in a battle with Miami right now. The Colts lost, so they go to 5 and 4. So the Bills looking to go 6 and 3. First down on the 22. Thurman Thomas, nowhere to go, and he's dropped.
No gain. Talked about Kent Hull earlier. He's got a 1,000-acre farm down in Mississippi. You know, Kent Hull's like one of those guys that you live right next door to. I mean, if you live by Kent Hull up here in Buffalo, you'd say, come on over for some chicken wings. He'd be there. He's just just a regular, everyday guy.
Eric Moles in the wide receiver. Thomas in a pass pattern, and the pass up the middle, flag down, and that may have a pass interference against Rod Stevens.
That's exactly what it is.
Defending against Thomas.
Stevens he mugged it. I mean, it was just a matter of 2 things. It was a matter of Kelly
defensive pass
being patient.
Number 99, automatic first down.
And then right there, Rod Stevens being impatient. See? That would have been an incompletion probably, but he just hooked him. That's a good call by the official.
The Bills sent Thomas in motion, so a first down. Bills with 3 opportunities have passed in 3 times today in the red zone. They're in there now at the 17. First down. Thurman Thomas off the left side. He's going to go in for the touchdown.
Flag is down.
Flag is down. Back of the line of scrimmage. And it'll be a holding call against Buffalo that nullifies the touchdown, to the dismay of Marv Levy.
10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, they called it. Ostrowski pulled around.
Did not hear who they called it on.
Fina jumped that. Fina cleared everything out in the backside. But it's all for naught since they called the holding back inside. Watch, Fina's going to take everything, move everything down this way. Then here they come. And I think they're going to call Ostrowski for that tackle right there on Ken Harvey. That's what they probably called.
So instead of the touchdown, the Bills are backed up to their 27. Redskin 27, first down and 20. They go to Derek Holmes. And Holmes carries 5, 6, 7 Redskins on his back. He's still going. What an exhibition by Derek Holmes. And the crowd gives him a standing ovation.
And they should. See, Derek Holmes is giving him his best Hulk Hogan at the end of that thing, too. He gave a good pose down. But watch the power and watch the decisiveness. Okay, you're not going to give me outside. I'm going to blow right up inside. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Heck, there's 7 guys, and they can't get him down.
And a gain of 19 yards, and Derek Holmes with 74 yards rushing on 13 carries today and a touchdown. And he and Thurman Thomas have been a tremendous 1-2 running punch today for the Redskins as Scott Turner comes off.
You know, you're gonna pat Thomas on the back and Holmes on the back, but I got to tell you something. It's that offensive line. The offensive line should get a game ball because they are winning the battle, and that's been the difference of the game, led by Ken Hall and Fina, Brown, Ostrowski, Parker.
Absolutely. 2nd and 1. First down. And Kelly with the quarterback sneak.
Just jumped right behind Ken Hall again.
And this, again, was an offensive line maligned for not giving Kelly protection.
How about when Jim Kelly was down like that, the first guy who showed up at his house was Ken Hall.
Yes.
He said, you know, I had to go over. I was worried about my guy. He said, I just went over and talked to him just to let him get it out of him.
It'll be 1st and goal at the 5-yard line. That's the kind of support you need. Derek Holmes. And let's see. Touchdown. Derek Holmes got over for the touchdown.
That's some pathetic tackling, I got to tell you right now. Rod Stevens, my little brother, could tackle better than that.
They haven't brought him down yet today.
No, they haven't. Rod Stevens has a shot. I mean, you're a middle linebacker in this league. It opens up. Don't wait, number 1. Now go get it. That's not getting it done.
All the things the Redskins have avoided, they have committed today. They have made mistakes. They have not tackled well. All the things that make this 7-1, they have gotten out of sync today. The extra point is good. And the score now is 24-7 in favor of the Bills, who have 3 rushing touchdowns this afternoon.
Welcome to Spirit of the Game, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. NFL players live by the motto, have ball, we'll travel.
Get that ball, baby!
But sometimes the ball travels by itself.
Ryan.
I
been around this land of ours from sea to shining sea. And if it stands for anything, it's that every man is free. Free to roam from city to city, to ride the open range. Free to come and go at will, to grab hold of the reins. But if you want to see the country in its glory and its pride, you've got to have a trusty mount that's always ready to ride.
This is Ford Escort. Did you know that it's new? If you knew that it's new, did you?
Anybody make a quick decision, throw the football.
2nd and 9. Stacked up. Willie McGinnis was first there, number 55.
This Escort is new.
Of course, an interception touchdown against Buffalo last week.
Life that will change his future.
It's against the Jets. Other AFC East showdown. Dolphins hosting Harbaugh and the Colts. Some of you will get the Bills battle with the Eagles or regional action. It all starts 12 noon.
Johnson, who had a touchdown of the Jets win over Arizona, and Terrell Owens of the 49ers, who had the winning touchdown catch against Houston. Each week, Degree will track the hottest rookies from the NFL. Kickoff to Brian Mitchell. And Mitchell is down at the 33-yard line.
I want you to watch a couple things in this touchdown. Watch Rod Stevens down here. That's the first thing. Here's his hesitation. That's a mistake. Then there's a bad tackle by him, and then Darrell Morrison as well. They don't even touch him. Nobody's there, and then that's not a touchdown. And I want you to watch right here. He's touched. He's down there, and then he stretches. That should have been a touchdown, but they call it. And that's the way it goes. So it's not only Rod Stevens, poor tackling, Darrell Morrison, Ken Harvey, there's a whole bunch of them. They didn't get the job done.
From the 33-yard line, Terry Allen, off right tackle, picks up a couple. And right now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Hey, Dick, on a day when both starting quarterbacks left the game due to injuries, rookie quarterback, the backup, Danny Cannell, was the better of both. This 24-yard pass to Thomas Lewis as the Giants crawl back into the fringes of the NFC East picture with that victory. Back to Dick.
And a lot of people think Danny Cannell could be the quarterback of the future for the Giants, a rookie from Florida State.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
2nd down and 6. 24-7. Buffalo impressively in front. And the pass is caught by Leslie Shepard on it. Pattern over the middle. The tackle is made by Stevens.
That was a nice play by Gus Frerotte. He looked for Mitchell first outside. That wasn't there. Then he went completely to the other side of the field, and that wasn't there. And then he was able to find him in the middle of the field. And all that's due to the time he had to throw the football.
Westbrook comes into the game. Shepard and Ellard in there as well. Now, Ellard will lead the game. So Westbrook and Shepard line up to the left. Fake handoff. Play fake. Frerotte in and out of the hands of Leslie Shepard, and that will bring up 2nd down.
For Leslie Shepard. Well, I got to tell you, he had Michael Westbrook down the middle of the field, man-to-man, with a whole field to work with. Had he been able to see him and let Westbrook just run to the football, he might still be running.
7:12 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Dick Stockton and Matt Millen here. It's 24-7.
I want you to watch. He has the inside field. Safety's going to go. Nobody's there. He had the whole field to work with on Thomas Smith.
2nd and 10. Terry Allen. And it'll be 3rd down and long as Allen picks up 3 yards. Sam Rogers making the tackle. 24-7 as the Bills have scored 10 points off of 2 Redskin turnovers.
The Redskins' passing game has just kind of been out of sync today. There's a couple times where Frerotte has been on, but receivers haven't held on to it, like Jamie Asher earlier in the game. And like this last one, the ball just goes off the fingertips. And then a couple times he's had people open. And this guy's been his favorite guy, and he hasn't gotten him the ball but one time today.
3rd and 7. Freratte's pass, it's caught. Flag is down, and Leslie Shepard down at the 20-yard line, but a penalty marker down back at the line of scrimmage, and a Buffalo Bill is shaken up. And it'll be holding against the Redskins, and that'll cross off the 23-yard gain.
Holding. Offense, number 77. 10-yard penalty.
Left guard, Trey
Repeat
Johnson.
third down.
Well, they caught him inside. There was a lot of time. You can see he's right here. Go man up. And that's a good call. He just clamped on to Phil Hansen. Good call by the official. Tell you what, they're not going to let Bruce Smith do anything. They're taking Brian Mitchell and they're keeping him in there. Brian Mitchell's physical guy in the blocking game, and he's just giving Bruce Smith some shots.
So on 3rd and 17, Jim Jeffco comes in, and Bruce Smith and Bryce Pop will be the outside pass rushers with extra defensive backs. 6 backs for the Bills. Pop puts pressure on Farad. And Farad is going deep. He has a man, and it's nearly intercepted. Westbrook nearly had it intercepted by Thomas Smith.
But to see that, Westbrook has him beat. The game's out. So this is time. This is an example when Farad can't get the ball there. And does he have a strong enough arm? Absolutely. Now I want you to watch this right up top. He has him clear open. The defender is cleanly beat. Gets to the top, the safety comes back in. He just keeps on going. Now there's just not enough on this ball, because had that ball been thrown out, Westbrook had the touchdown.
He had beaten the defender. Now it's 4th down. Matt Turk will kick. That penalty, the holding penalty on Trey Johnson, hurt the Redskins badly. Jeff Burris is back deep, and he's going to let the ball bounce. Redskins trying to keep it in. Darryl Pounds does. And they keep it in at the 2-yard line. Great hustle by Darryl Pounds. And the Bills will start from inside their 5. We'll be right back.
Now, with 50% more tender filet than before, McDonald's new Fish Filet Deluxe is sure to satisfy your grown-up needs and desires. The principle has made the complex simple. That's how we get
first down. It is.
Hey, Marty Schottenheimer and his background, things haven't exactly gotten great with the passing game. He and Paul Hackett upstairs have got to sort of cut down the list of what they can do. Remember, they have inexperienced wide receivers, not really sure of what they're supposed to do. If you can run the ball like this, if you can hammer them, you hammer them.
18-yard line, first down, play action, fake on first down, and throwing it away. Now, that is grounding. That's got.
Better yet, stop thinking about it.
Dateline Sunday.
Bottom of the mountain. Football camp is the hardest thing I've ever been through. Team, the coaches, the media, all eyes are looking at me.
We asked some of the NFL's hottest rookies to switch antiperspirants and try Degree.
Body heat activated.
As your body heat.
Also a newcomer to this
his original
section.
His original seat was taken by him.
Chris Miller has taken up residence just.
I want you to watch Scott Turner over here. He's going to get beat up, and then Darryl Pounds on the right. He has a plan. That is a clear hold. You can't get mugged any better than that. Pounds over here just does everything he can, and that's, you know, that's the benefit and why football is a team game. One guy gets blocked, the other guy makes the play. You still come out with a big plus in your special teams because of Darryl Pounds.
So the Bills will have the ball on their 4-yard line, leading 24-7. Redskins had a pass completion to the 20 that was nullified. Thurman Thomas is the setback. And it's going to be a false start apparently against the Bills. Larry Nemmers, our referee today. In the battle of first place teams.
Encroachment. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty.
It's William Gaines. They blew the whistle. It was not a free play, but we're going to tell you about the X-Files. Do you believe in reincarnation? Tonight on the X-Files, Agent Mulder uncovers a past life that will change his future forever. Don't miss an all-new, chilling episode of the X-Files tonight at 9, 8 Central on Fox. Thurman Thomas is dragged down by Dexter Nottage, short of the 10-yard line.
No gain. 2nd and 5.
Be 2nd down and 5 with less than 5.5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Bills led 17-7, and they've scored a touchdown off a turnover here in the 3rd quarter. End arounds to Steve Tasker on 3rd and 4. Darryl Morrison tried to slow him up. He couldn't, and Tasker has a 1st down, finally run out of bounds by Marcus Patton.
Marcus Patton got on his horse, didn't he? Because Tasker can fly.
11 yards on that play.
Marcus Patton, he came from the inside of the back. I mean, that's a heck of a hustling play.
And Tasker is slow getting back.
So they're going to start this way and then bring Tasker back the other way. I want you to watch Marcus Patton. He's right here, and he's going to get right up to the top. And that is just pure hustle. I mean, there's no angle there. That's just the ability to run. And Tasker, I think, is another one of those Thurman Thomas deals where he ends up falling right on top of the ball.
We've had several of those, mostly from Thurman Thomas today.
I'm going to tell you something. If the Buffalo Bills offense was their weakness, they got to be pretty excited, because it looks to me like that offensive line got healthy this week. They have themselves a plan. Thurman Thomas is running the ball well. Jim Kelly, I mean, look at that offense.
313 yards.
They're doing whatever they want to do, and Kelly is calling himself a really good football game.
Eric Moles, number 80, replaces Tasker. 1st down at the 20. Here's Thurman Thomas. And Thomas, with under 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, runs it out to the 24-yard line. Marcus Patton again on the tackle, but somehow, someway, you know that this veteran nucleus on this Buffalo Bills team always hangs in there as the season goes to the 2nd half. Jim Kelly underneath to Thomas, and Darrell Green got to it. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 5.
You know, we're talking about all this. This still, again, I'll repeat myself, but that offensive line has been the key. I mean, that offensive line continues from the beginning of the game all the way through. They've dominated the line of scrimmage.
And the defensive line has been banged up for the Redskins this week. 3rd down and 5. They've taken advantage of it. Kelly's pass caught, and a 1st down to Quinn Early. 1st down, Bills. Jim Kelly, 15 of 18, 133 yards. All of the Buffalo touchdowns have come on the ground, but any questions about Jim Kelly's demise have been exaggerated. The 36-year-old playing outstanding ball today. 1st down on the 33. Here's Thomas. Thomas carries and gets a couple.
Washington Redskins defense, and I've said this all year, they're weak link. It's that simple. And to compound that, they have people who are banged up, and they need to get them back healthy. Right now, they've been on the field way too long, and they look tired to me right now.
That's been the problem with the Buffalo defense coming into this game. Kelly on 2nd and 7, going deep for Andre Reed, who makes the catch, and a flag is down.
That is classic Andre Reed.
Tom Carter defending, and Andre Reed with the big catch.
I want you to watch the end of this play. He's man-to-man, and then this is how you use your body. See, he makes him bite. Now he gets to the top. Now he knows you don't have great speed. Look how he gets between the defender and the ball. And that is a thing of beauty. This right here is artwork. Carter bumps him. It doesn't matter. Andre Reed uses that strength in the body and his experience, stays behind, boom, ball comes right down. Out of Kutztown State University.
And their band was here for the halftime show. 42-yard pass play. 1st down on the Redskins 22. Thurman Thomas falls down for no gain.
You know, the biggest thing that I've seen with this team, out of the nucleus you guys have seen, like Andre Reed, and then you got Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, Bruce Smith. The biggest thing I've seen is early, they were a cocky group, and you have to be. But they've matured. I think they were humbled. In fact, Kent Hull told us they were humbled after that 2nd Super Bowl defeat.
2nd and 10. Kelly gets hit as he unloads it to Tasker. Steve Tasker shaken up a few plays ago, back in the lineup, and the Buffalo Bills are on a roll. They are beating the Washington Redskins soundly through 2 minutes and 16 seconds of this third quarter. And there's a guy that knows full well what he's seeing and witnessing here as the Bills are putting on a show. 3rd and 2.
And also knew that there's a chance this could happen.
And the handoff flag down on Derek Holmes.
Flag on the play.
Penalty marker down. Barb Levy, who delegates a lot of the responsibility.
Defense, offside number 95.
It'll be a first down as William Gaines went first down. Let's listen to the hard count from Jim Kelly here. And Gaines had moved, so it'll be first down and goal at the 9-yard line. Waning moments of the third quarter. Derek Holmes cutting inside and gets to the 4. Maybe the 3.
Down to about the 3-yard line, 3 or 4-yard line.
Great ball control by the Bills, and they started the game, you remember, Matt, with 4 running plays. Thurman Thomas, when they started it, they've had the ball for 9 more minutes than the Redskins.
Second and goal at the 4.
The 11th play of the drive coming up for Buffalo, and the handoff to Kelly, and he's in for the touchdown. No handoff. It was Jim Kelly with a score, and he has reason to celebrate. Jim Kelly with the touchdown, and it's been a Buffalo Bills show. His first touchdown of the year. Steve Christie with the extra point is good, and the Buffalo Bills, before nearly 80,000 fans at Orchard Park, have opened up a 31-7 bulge over Washington.
Listen, Candace, we know what you're going through. Ever since Sprint launched that
leads 21-17 with one questionable turnover for New
Houston offense trailing by 3.
Out of that, so the Patriots opportunistic. 77 yards and 4 quick plays for the lead. Irving spikes. Check that. Charles Jordan. And Jordan draws a crowd of blue out at the 27-yard line. Mario Greer leading the way. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Well, look at Ben Coates at the top of your screen. But watch Louis Oliver, number 25, his reaction. Most teams, when they fake this bootleg, they throw to the right. The Patriots do the opposite. They throw across the field, back to the left. That's the reason Ben Coates was wide open.
Watch this, folks. You think Bledsoe liked this little slap on a hiney? Whoops. No, that hurt.
Marino comes back gunning, and it's...
I do.
Not going anywhere. Tackle, the 300-pounder from San Diego State has Marino wincing.
When you're for a defensive lineman playing against the Miami Dolphins and Dan Marino, it has to be so frustrating. You get through, you do an excellent job.
Sydney was attacked by a shark.
When Animals Attack 2, tonight on Non-Stop Fox.
The Bills leading 31-7 with 1:08 remaining in the third quarter. Andre Reed caught the big pass from Jim Kelly. Kelly went over from 4 yards for the touchdown to cap a 97-yard scoring drive. 31-7. The Redskins had scored 31 points on 4 occasions coming into today. Brian Mitchell returning the kickoff, and he is tackled. The whistle had blown before the ball was jarred loose. What a story. We talked about the Bills' offense. What about on the other side of the ball today?
Well, you can see all the numbers, 99, passing yards, 51 rushing. But
I got to tell you, the Buffalo Bills defense today really is their offense, because they haven't allowed Washington to be on the field. And their defense has been on the field just about the whole game, and their offense really hasn't had much of a chance. And then that passing game has been out of sync.
First and 10 at the 37. Under a minute to go in the third quarter. Terry Allen for a couple. This has not been a day, and you can see it in the beginning. The Redskins unable to run, and you got to credit the Bills defense for just limiting Terry Allen. Oddly enough, the Redskins scored the first touchdown of the game, but that was it as far as the Washington highlights.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so this is just the Bills. I mean, it's been that offensive, particularly it's been that offensive line. Kelly's called himself a good game. Derek Holmes been running. Ostrowski, you can see Ruben Brown. That's been the name of the game. That offensive line, along with Clean and Parker, they've dominated that front. You knew they were capable of doing it. You waited for it to happen. Today it's coming together. Now they'll use this as a building block. And on the other hand, the Redskins will try to forget this one. Like, get all the bad plays you can out of you today, so that next week you go in and you start fresh.
Still have a full quarter to go. 7 seconds remaining in this third quarter. And let's see if they get the time off. They don't. That's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Bills 31, Redskins 7. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station.
Peas, lovely. With how accurate Del Greco has been all season. Well, a flag stops this one.
There's some, you know, defensive linemen usually jump to try and get the offense to twitch, and they might have done it.
Doesn't matter, though. Del Greco's been so good. Yeah. 45. Hey. What's 40, 45 for him, right? But this is going to be good enough for the first down if it is on Seattle.
Well, the reality is that Seattle, the Seattle players didn't make contact.
False start, 69, offense.
So you got to make contact defensively, or it doesn't matter. The defensive players jump, and they'll do that on purpose to get the guys to twitch, and they did. They got them to twitch.
John Runyon, the rookie out of Michigan. And there he is.
You know what they did? Oh, man.
Late flag.
It was, you know what it was? They tried, the offensive line tried. They were all set down, had the elbows down. They've got to stay in that position. They can't change from then. But they tried to go into a set position, be a little fancy to draw off the Seattle Seahawks.
Del Greco from 45. Automatic. 3 for 3 on the day.
Practiced the act.
What's your great news? He's out. John Booth is out. I'm gonna kill him.
The Crossing Guard. Playing this month on Direct Ticket. Only on DirecTV.
You're watching NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV.
Big doubleheader next week. NFL on Fox. The Packers and the Chiefs. A big clash. Matt and I will be at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Cowboys and 49ers in the second half of our big doubleheader. Third down and 11 for the Redskins. Gus Frerotte. Sideline pattern, and Leslie Shepard makes the reception, and a first down at midfield.
That's a heck of a catch by Shepard. That's going away over the shoulder. You know, watch him. He's going to come in the slot, and then he's just going to work to the outside. I want you to watch where this ball is thrown. See how they do that? They take the outside guy, and they run him off, and that's a great effort by Shepard.
14 yards.
They'll take the outside receiver, run the corner off, and then they'll take the slot when you have him in the zone, and you run him into that vacated area.
2 tight ends. First down at midfield. Play action fake, and Frerotte drills it. Caught by Henry Ellard. And Ellard, I believe that's his second catch of the game. Tackled by Burris, and a pickup of 22. So 36 yards on 2 passes in the opening minute of this fourth quarter, and the Redskins have a first down inside the Buffalo 30. Ellard, who is a 35-year-old receiver, playing like he's 25 this season. First down on the 28. Jamie Asher in motion. And the pass incomplete. It was intended for Shepard.
They just don't look like the same Redskin offense. I mean, they just... Rod's missed some guys. You know, he dropped some balls. They just haven't been able to get their running game going well enough to be able to work play action. This is the kind of game that Norv Turner wanted to stay out of. He didn't want to be throwing the football and playing to the strength of the defense of the Buffalo Bills, but like it or not, you got it.
Second down and 10. Another play fake. Murat's going to have time. Dumps it off to Allen, who steps out of bounds. By the way, we got to point out with Henry Ellard making that last reception. Ellard has now passed Art Monk to move into the 4th spot in the all-time NFL receiving yards list, now with 12,732 yards.
No gain, 3rd and 10.
That's where he stands, and that's who's ahead of him. Largent, Lofton, and then a guy named Rice.
Not a bad player, that Jerry Rice, who will add to that total tonight against the New Orleans Saints.
3rd and 10. On the 28 of Buffalo. Murat. And a what a catch by Michael Westbrook. Saves at the 1-yard line.
Who cares where it is? Do you see that? I mean, that's what Michael Westbrook will give you. And that hurts going down. But I want you to watch how he stretched out for this ball. There aren't many guys who are going to make this catch. He turns first around, balls around, watch him lay out. Then hold on to it with one hand, comes down on it. No, that's a catch.
And that's what the Redskins bought when they drafted him #1.
That is a tremendous effort right there. They need Murat to be able to find Michael Westbrook.
Rookie Larry Bowie is in the game, blocking for Terry Allen, who scores his 2nd touchdown. Allen with his 2nd touchdown and his 8th in the last 3 games. Quiets the crowd momentarily, but Redskins get a touchdown early here in the 4th.
I mean, Michael Westbrook is their big play guy. Michael Westbrook is the piece of the offense that will open this thing wide up, and they need it consistently. He's been banged up. He hasn't been able to get on the field all the time. They've had Terry Allen. You can see Farad getting better. But the guy who will make that whole offense go, I tell you, frankly, the field tips in his favor when Michael Westbrook walks on it. Some people don't believe that, but I tell you, I'm convinced.
The Redskins are calling a timeout. Here is that catch by Westbrook again. Easily the most spectacular of this game. Timeout, Washington.
Wheeler led the defensive attack.
Well, the Miami Dolphins, when you have possessions in the second half, you take a look in the middle. The 3 plays, 5 plays, 1 play in a fumble, and 3 plays again, you punt the ball away. I mean, your offense isn't doing anything. You've got to keep this defense off the field. That's the one thing that Marino said to us. We've got to help the defense. We've got to move the ball and control it.
That fumble came 1 play after Sean Woodson had intercepted at the New England 36. Into the flat. Only 3 more on the catch as Malloy and Hitchcock wrap up Pritchett. 3rd down and short 6.
You know, the guy,
I've been in this business so long.
Punt returns. Has he caught a pass?
1 catch for 6 yards. McDuffie is their 3rd down receiver. Marino, lots of time, has McDuffie open, and he has it at the 40-yard line.
It's also the bad news. Hey, look out! Pizza by the foot. Nearly 3 feet of pizza and free Italian bread, just $10.99. Carried out or have it delivered. Pizza.
NFL Sunday is brought to you by Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By Visa, the preferred card of the NFL. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. By Little Caesars Pizza, where you get great taste at a great price. Pizza Pizza. And by DirecTV, satellite TV at its best.
Redskins called a timeout for good reason. They wanted to set up their first attempt at a 2-point conversion, trailing 31-13.
Schultz was right there, read it the whole way.
Two-point conversion.
They're going to try to go
Jamie Asher.
back inside with Asher, but Schultz found it the whole way, knocked it down.
10 minutes and we're out of here.
Hi, Ralph. It's that pipe again. Will it take long?
Nah, only
DirecTV.
a couple hours.
Well, lock up when you leave.
Sure.
Right away, he's looking back at Marino. He gets over to even try to help. He doesn't have to because Hitchcock done it. But on the left-hand side of the screen, you see Willie Clay coming in? He was there to help out if need be.
So Hitchcock with his second interception of the season. And Hill stops him at the 10-yard line. So Marino intercepted for the first time today. It remains 21-17 New England. Hit in the backfield is Curtis Martin, Dwight Collier.
Complete. Good coverage by the Oilers. He wanted Kroll, but Kroll well covered.
I think he thought that Ricky Prohl was going to break to the outside. Prohl breaks inside, and
In the press down zone.
When Jim Gray talked about it at the start of the game, that factored in. Held the ball up. Bledsoe out. Quickie to Sean Jefferson. Buckley on the coverage. 6 yards on the play. To the 15. It's 3rd and 5. Second half.
The backup, Lamar Smith, and he can't get going, and that'll bring up 4th down. And the boos from the fans who have not seen much offense at all.
well, you know, before we started this series, I told defense in the AFC. After this game, if they keep it up, shutting it down, forcing threes to throw in an area where there's not much room. And now, of course, you got to go for the points since these are the only points that have been put up on the scoreboard all day.
So this is a chip shot of 23 yards for Peterson. And that one is wide to the right.
Kicking off, and Eric Moles from the 6. Moles is down at the 26-yard line.
This is the discipline I was talking about. You have these two guys, they're going to try to pick. Schultz stays to the inside. You have an outside defender and then somebody up top. This is playing a zone within a man. Now, the first guy, Shepard, he's going to try to pick everybody. It's up to Schultz to be able to hold the inside and then make the break. Shepard's going to try to pick to the top side. Kerner goes outside, bursts to the top. It doesn't get played any better than that.
In the NFL today, there have been 5 two-point conversion attempts. 4 have succeeded. This was the only one that didn't. First down on the 26. Jim Kelly under pressure completes a short pass to Tasker, and Staley Richard all over him.
Well, you look at this Buffalo Bill offense today, and we talked about that offensive line, and really that's been the key. They've rushed for over 200 yards. Look at this, 26 first downs, 183 yards passing. They didn't even need this. They have 0 turnovers, and look at this, over 6 yards per play. I mean, they are on a roll.
That gets it done. 2nd and 8, Thurman Thomas trying to juke his way is down to the 30, and a flag also goes down. That was Dexter Nottage and Ken Harvey.
Flag on the play.
Now the Bills are going to try to put the brakes back on this game.
5 yards, number 57.
There's Harvey on the face mask.
5-yard penalty.
5-yard penalty.
Ken Harvey comes in and wraps up, and his hand gets up on the face, and they're going to call that every time. So the Bills now will try to slow this game down, run the ball. And this is one thing where the Redskins can kind of load up and take it away. Even though they're in a 3-receiver set, you can anticipate a little bit more what's going to happen.
Thurman Thomas first down. More. A lot more. And Ken Harvey finally brings him down. You brought it out earlier, Matt, after this 20-yard gain by Thomas. The Redskin tackling has probably been the worst it's been since the opening half of the year against the Eagles.
Yeah, they didn't play very well then, and they're getting the same dose of that thing right now. It's just a matter of good vision by Thurman Thomas and then run through. That shouldn't happen. I mean, this is the NFL. That should not happen.
First down at the 45 of the Redskins, and Thurman Thomas for a couple. Everyone's been waiting for the so-called lull. The Redskins beat New England on the road, then they came back and beat the Colts. And talking to Norv Turner last night, he said, wait, maybe our lull was the second half of the victory over the Giants at RFK Stadium. But this has been a tough one, and you have to credit Buffalo for a terrific output on the offense and defensive ends combined. Second down and 8. Kelly going deep for Andre Reed. And he was covered downfield by Tom Carter. Let's look ahead at the Redskins schedule.
Andre Reed. It was incomplete.
They're going to have some problem. Arizona's a team, obviously, they should be. They do not match up very well with Philadelphia at all. Philadelphia pounds the football, controls the clock, just very much like today. And then you have San Francisco. Dallas, they do match up with pretty well. They can be physical in that offensive line, and Norv Turner knows it. The team there, though, that's got to scare them has got to be the Philadelphia Eagles, especially that huge victory they had today.
Third and 8 out of the shotgun from the 43. And Derek Holmes as a receiver this time. A first down inside the 25. Pounds makes the tackle. It's been the Jim Kelly, Derek Holmes, and Thurman Thomas show offensively. What a triangle.
You see how many guys hit him on that last play? None. Again, I'm going to beat this thing to death. That offensive line, again, is doing everything they can to win the football game.
First down at the 24 of the Redskins. Here's Derek Holmes, and this time Dexter Nottage got a hold of him. And not much of a gain that time. Under 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Redskins, who won 7 straight games coming into this one after losing their opener to the Eagles. Remember, they play the Cowboys, as Matt mentioned, Thanksgiving Day on Fox, and will finish the regular season with Dallas at RFK Stadium. Holmes going left. And he is brought down by Romeo Bandison. It'll be third and short now for Buffalo. That was an interesting win by the Eagles because the Dallas Cowboys had been on a roll, and this was a home game against a tough team. They got the Niners next week, and the NFC East really shaping up as an interesting race heading into the last half. Third down and 2, Jim Kelly, quarterback sneak. He scored a touchdown on that quarterback sneak earlier in this half.
Seems like whenever they've had to get a tough yard, they just line up behind Kent Hull and go ahead with Jim Kelly, just run right behind him. I think Kent Hull, you know, I said to him before the game, you know, Kent, is there anything that anybody ever talks about you or says anything? He says, nah, I don't like to say anything to those guys. He says, I like to let my play do the talking. Let's talk loud and clear today.
First and 10 at the 13. Derek Holmes, no one to stop him. Touchdown.
Pathetic. That's the most embarrassing tackling exhibition I think I've witnessed.
Well, Holmes is a big guy, but you can't expect that many people to miss a running back.
Heck, they hit him. They don't do anything when they hit him. There's -1, -2, -3. I hate to watch this film tomorrow if I'm a Washington Redskin. It's just going to be embarrassing.
Third touchdown of the game for Derek Holmes. And you remember, he is Thurman Thomas's backup. 105 yards, a career high for Holmes. And when he fell over there on the bench, that was really the first time anyone knocked him down in this game. Christie with the extra point is good. And the score now, the Bills 38, the Redskins 13. And the beat goes on for Buffalo.
The key to this offense, the fact that in years past it was drop back and throw it to Ben Coates. Now Drew Bledsoe can drop back and throw it to one of 7 or 8 good pass receivers.
Dennis Martin slowed down in the backfield and loses a yard. Interestingly, and when you look at the skill positions for New England with Byers and Coates now and those wide receivers, Jefferson and Glenn, and then the running backs as well, and Bledsoe, you'd say this should be the best offense in the AFC East, but someone argues that it is not, and that was Bill Parcells.
Well, he thinks the New York Jets are the best offense in the AFC East, and he says, and don't even take my word for it, just look it up. Yards, he's talking first downs, a lot of York Jets, but my argument is the New York Jets are doing a lot of that when they're way behind and the games are over. They're getting some of those stats.
But I think that the New York Jets are going to decide who wins the AFC East because they're going to beat someone going down the second half of the season.
Well, that's right. And the one thing he was right about, Bill Parcells, is the New York Jets do have some fine, skilled players on offense. So there's going to be a day when their defense puts it together. They come out there and that offense clicks, and you hope you're not the team that's on the bad end of it.
With 10 catches today. This one aimed at.
Nice pants.
Coming into this game 4-4, Phil, but they've only lost.
Come back. Still tied at 9.
Dr. Pepper.
This game is presented by authority of the National Football League and is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Buffalo Bills and the National Football League is strictly prohibited. 38-13. The Bills in front. Steve Christie. Kicking off. Brian Mitchell. On the return again. And he is upended and down by a host of Bills.
Brian Mitchell returned the Steve Christie pickoff. John Moran.
Thurman Thomas with 107 yards. Derek Holmes with 105 yards today. The last time 2 Buffalo Bill running backs were over 100 yards in a game back in '92 against the Atlanta Falcons.
I think the Buffalo Bill organization is going to be happy to see me come to town. I had that game. Showed up again today. They got 2 guys. Maybe
they're good for their running game.
I should see their running backs are going to be happy to show up.
Tip pass. And off the hands of Jamie Asher. Right now for McDonald's game break. Let's return to JB at our Fox Television Center.
Dick and Matt, people have to believe Ty Detmer definitely is for real. Big day today as he leads the Eagles past the Cowboys. That one to Irving Fryer. Detmer is for real. Eagles up in them by 10. Back to Dick and Matt.
And the Eagles are headed for a tie for first place in the NFC East with the Redskins. If this game finishes as it is now, 2nd and 10 at the 26. The handoff to Stephen Davis. Rookie from Auburn.
Well, that Chris Spielman keeps making plays, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Anytime they're going to run the football, I mean, he's a good reader. And you don't see very many of them. I got to tell you, there's a lot of guys who don't believe what they see. But Chris Spielman does. I mean, he sees a thing and boom, he's right on top of it. And the thing, he's been, when he was in high school, he was at Massillon High School in Ohio, he was on that Wheaties box. I said, hey, I saw that Wheaties box. He said, yeah, I look like Guido Sarducci. I think he's right.
He does. 3rd down and 7 at the 29. And Barat and no Redskin receiver downfield. They had broken off the pattern. So that'll bring up 4th down. Todd Collins. A lot of people thought should get the nod now. It's quarterback of the Bills for Jim Kelly.
Well, they wanted him. They're going to get him.
He's going to get him now in a mop-up situation.
Yeah, and that's where you like to see a young quarterback.
Speaking of that Wheaties box, Massillon, Ohio, of course, is the home of many of the great coaches in football history, led by Paul Brown and company. A hotbed of great minds have come out of that school.
Not to mention cereal boxes.
Matt Turk kicking it away, and Jeff Burris is going to let it bounce. And it goes out of bounds at about the 35. So Todd Collins will make his appearance. 7:10 remaining.
Up and making the hit, kind of like, just doesn't sell out going after the hit. Chris Sanders with a couple of, we're not even talking fancy footwork. We're talking a little hop and a skip, and he's gone.
And you're not going to catch Chris Sanders, who is a Colorado high school track
What's the move
champion
here?
in the 100 and 200 meters. I mean, he gets there, and it's forget about it.
It's kind of like, it was almost a hesitation. It was almost, he was like sucking him in.
Although Darrell Williams seemed to close on him at the end, but Sanders was gone.
Look at this.
Just barely in.
Oh. Referee's right there to make sure he did not step out of bounds.
And he relieves McNair.
Coverage. Well, Dan Marino on his way to throwing for 50,000 yards and still has that good arm. The hardest throw a quarterback can make is that 10-yard speed outcut by a receiver. And look at the hop, and Dan Marino gets that body behind almost every single throw. That's the reason why he's so accurate.
The man with the perfect pass. Boy, he hits that line of scrimmage at full speed.
In Seattle, Houston and the Seahawks tied at 9. Steve McNair sideline pass to Chris Sanders. Watch what he does to Selwyn Jones on the sidelines. Can't let him get away like that. See you later. 65-yard touchdown. And with the extra point, Houston on top of Seattle now. 16-9, about 8 minutes to play in regulation. Dick?
All right, Greg, can you imagine 2 years ago at Ohio State they had Sanders, Galloway, and this kid Glenn? And they lost some games underneath. Good catch by.
They played an outstanding game, and they were the difference in this football game today.
Todd Collins takes over at quarterback for the Bills, who have a first down on their 35-yard line. Collins hands off to Derek Holmes, already over 100 yards. And he crosses the 40-yard line where Marcus Patton makes the tackle. Collins is 34 for 61. One touchdown and one interception. And Reuben Brown and John Fina have gone out, and Corbin Lucina and Corey Luchet have come in on the left side of the line. Second down and 4 at the 41-yard line. Todd Collins, second-round draft pick last year out of Michigan. Forced in earlier this year when Kelly was hurt. And the handoff up the middle, Holmes. Redskins not been able to handle Derek Holmes today. He gets 10 yards on that clip and a first down beyond midfield.
They weren't able to handle the running game at all today, and and then because they're running the football so well, they could go with their play action and give this guy Jim Kelly all kinds of time to throw. And I got to tell you something. In the course of a year, you can see 19 out of 23. He did whatever he wanted to do. In the course of a year, you're going to have games like this. And sometimes you think, okay, if they're all going to happen, good. Defensively, let them happen now and get the thing over with.
Chris Brandley in motion, first down at the 49. Holmes, who has gained 121 yards before that carry, gets one. 5.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Well, the Buffalo Bills showed what they were made of a bit today. When they were under siege, they had won 4 of their first 5, but had dropped 2 of their last 3. Let's take a look at their next 5 games.
Well, there's a good one next week at Philadelphia. Philadelphia's coming off of a big one. Then they got some pretty easy ones right here until they get down to Indianapolis. If Indianapolis can get healthy, that's a big game.
Second down and 9. Holmes going right, trying to cut up the middle. And Stevens is there. That'll bring up third down and long.
Yeah, I'm watching Derek Holmes out there running. My eyes glance down to the Buffalo Bills sideline. And Thurman Thomas is dancing up a storm down there. I mean,
as well he should.
He hears the music going. He's over there dancing by the sideline marker. Then he comes walking over to the defense. You know, and Ted Washington, a big smile on his face. These are the kind of games that you love to have. You know, when things are going so well, you can dance on the sideline. You've had a big day.
Third down and 9. Flips it out to Tony Klein, the second tight end, and that'll bring up fourth down. You know, they did not sell out in time to lift the blackout, but there are only over 78,000 people today, and while some of them have headed to the parking lot for their post-game festivities, many or most of the fans have stayed. Now they start to...
But you know, did you ever notice that in a game like People will be sitting there, and then after one play, it's like everybody at once decides that the game is over.
That's right.
I mean, it's all of a sudden everybody just stood up and left. It's amazing.
I think there's a signal that they give that only those fans know about.
I think it's like those seagulls who show up in the fourth quarter. The same kind of thing.
Moore's kick is down by Ken Urban on the 2. We'll be right back.
Steve Young here.
Staples has.
He rocked forward, got into the neutral zone, just couldn't get back. Oh boy.
I didn't get a number for.
I couldn't see it either. We had a low angle on it. I don't know if it was one of the outside backers or if it was Anthony Cook or Bowden. One of the guys set up there on the outside trying to get a good rush going.
Nevertheless, take away the interception from Darrell Lewis. And it's 1st and 5 now from the Houston 49. Seattle trailing 16-9. Free is going to the air on virtually every play now. He's got Joey Galloway. Galloway should have the first down. Darrell Lewis corralled him. Seahawks have all 3 of their timeouts left. The Oilers have none.
Well, in the matchup between Darrell Lewis and Joey Galloway, I mean, Joey Galloway has been pretty much getting the best of them except for the interception there, which was a bad communication between Freese and Galloway. Galloway breaks to the sideline. I think John Freese expected him to break to the middle. Those are right.
Buffalo Bills. So don't be surprised if you turn it on and there's a big old Buffalo that looks like Thurman Thomas and Bruce Smith just stampede.
Well, that's part 2. That's part 2. This was part 1. First down. And Davis.
And Stephen Davis carries again.
Picks up a couple. Ted Washington making the tackle. Well, what's worked for the Redskins all year, they came in 2nd in the NFL in rushing, but today they've been held to 68 yards.
That's a little deceiving. And the reason it's deceiving is because the Buffalo Bill offense jumped up on them and really kept them off the field, and then they were able to dictate the pace of the game. And then they had to really start to throw the football to get back in it. I think if they could have kept this thing close like North Turner wanted, that running game would have been effective.
2nd and 9. Stephen Davis is stopped. We're getting down to the 2-minute warning of this game. Oddly enough, the Redskins scored the first touchdown on Allen's 1-yard run on their first possession. But after that, it has been all Buffalo. 2-minute warning here at Rich Stadium in Orchard Park. We'll be right back.
Total control of it and Blaine Bishop. He's at a whole new level right now.
Pro Bowler last year, Blaine Bishop. Bow-legged, 5'9" product out of Ball State.
In their own end zone, throwing the ball down the middle of the field. A lot of bad things can happen down the middle of the field, especially at your own end.
It looked like Byers had lost the ball down around his knees. First down, to Coates. Breaks a tackle. Big man can run. And Coates, touchdown. 84 yards. Oh, my.
They both were on the same page. It was a blitz. The Patriots could not pick it up. He adjusted his
brand new X.
He got all that weight going forward. His legs had to keep up with it. And a military accident from right, and the Patriots lead 28-17. It appeared that Keith Byers might have thrown a key block downfield.
But Drew Bledsoe job of getting rid of the football. And look, Keith Byers coming back, making a good block. And Ben Coates showing the speed he has in the tight end position.
Of the game, all involved one man. Derek Holmes, who scored 3 touchdowns. Holmes with a touchdown runs from 3, 5, and look at this one. And the last one.
Yeah, and then I think the one thing you got to notice in all this is not only the tremendous running and burst by Derek Holmes, but then on the other side, there's not a very good job of tackling by the Washington Redskins. But that guy there, Derek Holmes, really played himself a heck of a football game, and really in a relief role. I mean, Thurman Thomas got himself his 100 yards as well.
Burris is going to let the punt be down, and it is. Wasn't touched it. Now finally it is. 122 yards for Derek Holmes, 3 touchdowns. That's a career high, and for Holmes, his second career 100-yard game. So he'll remember this one for a long while.
Yeah, and if we were to give the Miller Lite players of the game, it would be an S also, because that offensive line would be the ones who get it. You can see Derek Holmes, you'd have to start right there. We stay inside with Kent Holland in the guards, Reuben Brown and Jerry Ostrowski, and John Fina at one tackle and Glenn Parker at the other. They were the difference of this football game.
Collins is going to take a knee. Where do the Redskins regroup now going into next week's contest?
I think you just put this one, you know, this might be one of those games where Norv Turner doesn't even let the guys watch it. I mean, you just say, you know what, it's over with, it happened, you're out of your system, you're in first place, you're 7-2, you're still in good shape. Look at our schedule. We have people coming up. We got to win this week against Arizona and start from scratch all over.
And if you're the Buffalo Bills, you say, well, we kind of regained our form, didn't we?
Well, then I think if you're Jim Kelly, he's going to say, see, I told you so. Just let me run my offense and stay off my back, and we'll take care of things.
And it looks like that's going to be the way it'll be.
It's funny, you talked to Norv Turner yesterday, and he said, you know, I'm watching the tapes, and he says, I can almost see Jim Kelly getting his offensive line together and eating pizza and drinking some brewskis and saying, hey, let's get this thing together. We can run this no huddle. And you want to know something? He hit the nail right on the head, because that's exactly what Kelly, he grabbed that offense together and said, we're going to do it our way. Let's go. And they got it done. That's the value of leadership. When you're a guy like Kelly, when your group looks to you, I mean, he'll shoulder the blame when things go wrong, and he'll pass out the praises when things go right. Today, he'll be patting a lot of back.
A most impressive victory by the Buffalo Bills. They took advantage of Redskin mistakes. They stopped their run. They ran tremendously. And defensively dominated the game. Buffalo Bills have defeated the Washington Redskins by a score of 38-13. Bills go 6-3 on the year, remain in first. The Redskins 7-2, tied with the Eagles for first in the NFC East. We'll be right back.
New England pass rush can come alive and play nothing but pass.
Well, what happens is watch Marino now. He's got Webb on that side, so you've got all the confidence in the world on your backside. He just waited too long and held. McGinnis never quit, got around Webb, and made the play.
Mark Wheeler recovered the fumble, but it was McGinnis making the play. Wrapped up by Aaron Jones, who played here with the Patriots a couple of years.
I think this is really Marino's fault, because Dan Marino was standing back there waiting so long. Webb pushes to the outside. Parmalee gets in Webb's way. McGinnis never quits, and he comes through. Not only does he knock the ball, almost got the fumble, or he did get the fumbles.
And Al was there. With McNair is, even though he's learned, even though he's studied, even though he has watched film, he is still a young kid who has got to learn how the NFL works. I mean, there's going to be a lot of quick decisions to be made out there that, hey, it's going to be up to him to make.
Eddie George gets the carry. Short of the first down, but he picks up a good 8 yards.
No times, as you said before, no timeouts remaining, as you said before, Dan. And, you know, keeping the ball on the ground. And, hey, face it, they haven't put a rushing drive together since the first drive of the game, with Eddie George going six carries for 37 yards and taking it all the way down the field. Other than that, they've been shut down in the run game. Looks like they're just going to bide their time, eat some clock, try and get down and score the last points.
The delay to George. George has the first down. Terry Wooden makes the stop. Clock continues to roll. 2:38 left. Not only does McNair have to deal with no timeouts, he has to deal with the dome crowd here in Seattle ringing in his ears.
Eddie George showing some good explosiveness. He seemed like he'd been bottled up for a while there in the second and the third quarter. Didn't really have a chance to explode towards the hole. Here, especially in the first play and that last one, the draw play, had little room to get the burst going and get outside.
Eddie George has 82 yards on 22 carries. McNair fakes it to him, rolls right, complete. Robert Blackman on Derek Russell. Oh, jeez.
The bad news is they still gained 9.5 yards.
What an exclamation point to leave you as we hit the 2-minute warning. Blackman on Russell in a tie game at 16.
Carbon monoxide isn't the only thing to worry about coming from your tailpipe.
Well, Jimmy Johnson, he didn't avoid the issue coming into this week. He says these next 2 games will determine our season. If things continue to go the way they are today, he's going to have to rethink and give his team some hope somehow and tell them, well, we can still get in. We got to win this week and somewhere down the line try to make up some ground.
Tim Bowens is the guy that's down. And we're going to see what happens to him here. He's right in the middle. He puts his arm in on Curtis Martin, and his own man hits his arm, and that's what he's holding. That's one of those hyperextended elbow. But the thing about it is when you come out in the beginning of the season, Dick, one of the things, your first objective is you got to win our division. We have to win in our division and win our division. Actually, again, I'll repeat that 4-4, Jimmy Johnson and the Miami Dolphins were in a great position because they had only lost 1 game in their division, and that was to Indy.
Drew Bledsoe, 2nd down and 9 at the 10-yard line. Is just a handful of yards away from his best ever game. Remember that Minnesota game where he threw the ball 70 times a couple of years ago, 45 completions, 426 yards. He has 414 against Miami today. There's the total by quarter. Started and has just progressed through the course of the game.
Half the distance to the goal line. Gives the Patriots.
That could be the difference. McNair takes the sneak, and he should pick up the first down. As we left you for the commercial, Robert Blackman prevented Derek Russell from picking it up, but McNair gets it. Clock continues to roll. Remember, the Oilers without any timeouts, and we mentioned that 23-yard miss by Peterson. The snap appeared good. The hold appeared fine. He just kind of pushed it to the right. And this is Ronnie Harmon. Harmon makes a move inside the 30.
Oh, come on, guys. This is no time. No time to stop hustling.
And there has been the most successful field goal kicker this season, Al Del Greco on the sidelines, who has made 3 straight field goals today, 23 of 26 on the season. His only misses all season long, Bob, have been from 55, 51, and 47. Well, it's Dateline Sunday tonight on NBC. And then it's must-see comedies of Third Rock from the Sun, Boston Common, plus superstar Jim Carrey stars in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Viewers on the West Coast will see these shows at their regularly scheduled times.
Boy, I got to hustle home. This is going to be a big night. Well, good run by Houston. Nice cutout to take it to the outside and cut it back. If it wasn't for, I tell you what,
you can see it on the face of Todd Peterson thinking about that 23-8.
Cortez Kennedy saved that one. He chased that one down 15 yards downfield.
Eddie George, left side. Picks up some more good positive yardage for Houston. Darrell Williams on to stop. Clock stops at 1:04 left.
Well, Seattle's defense is really attacking at the point of attack. But Eddie George knows that, and he's basically just bouncing it to the outside. He knows where everybody's coming. He knows they're coming for him. He just bounces to the outside and finds a nice soft spot and picks up the 6, 7, 8 yards he needs. Right into the middle, boom, bounces it right out to the outside. Everybody kind of caught inside, thinking he was done, thinking he was being tackled.
So Steve McNair trying to pick up another victory. 2-0 last year, but Bob, those starts really didn't mean anything. The Oilers were out of the playoffs. Now he's in charge of their playoff hopes today, and Al Del Greco could be the difference.
We thought this drive would rest on his arm, but he's pretty much passed off that responsibility to Eddie George so far.
Second down and a long 3. Eddie George trying to move forward for the first down. I bet he'll be short by quite a ways. Cortez Kennedy makes the stop, and Seattle takes its final timeout of the game, so no teams left with any timeouts in regulation now.
When you look at that Seattle defense, you can see that they're tired. I mean, they're tired, they're frustrated. This has been a long drive. It's been a long game, but this has been a long drive for them. And I think that as a player, Dan, as a player, you sit here in this situation, and you know that you've worked hard.